Hello everyone, and it's time to explain. And this episode is like more than special. Like every episode is special, but this one is the best. Because we have like community managers from the past, from the present, and well, from the very past, I guess.
Ouch.
And also we have like Lex, one of the most impactful content creators we have with us in the Brawl community. But let's go to the introductions. Ryan, can you explain to us who you are and what you do in Supercell nowadays?
Yes, my name's Ryan. I'm super happy to be here with this wonderful group. I'm the community lead at Supercell. Back in the old days, I was a community manager on Brawl Talk. I hope some of you still remember me. And
They do.
Good, and dearly miss it, and glad to be back.
And then we have Marcio that has just joined the team as well. Can you introduce yourself to the community?
Of course. So yeah, I'm Marcio. Some of you already know me. I joined the Brawl team 6 months ago, more or less. And I'm Dani's new partner on the
apartment
on the community team. And yeah, like super glad to be here. A little bit nervous, but let's go. Let's do it.
And then we have Paula. Now Paula has like this emotional charge with her because of the last episode, right? But
I noticed you had to check your notes before introducing Paula. It's been that long.
Laura or no? So.
He already forgot about me.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I'm Paula. I'm the person who killed Ryan and replaced Ryan in Brawl, and now I got killed by Marcio. So this is how it works in Brawl. But yeah, I was in Brawl for like more than 2 years, almost 3, I guess. And now I'm in Squad Busters, which is a new game. That is not released yet, but it will be at some point. So yeah, happy to be here. Super exciting, and missing the Brawl team and the players as well.
And last but not least, I'll say it, the most creative content creator we have. Is that accurate?
Where are they? I don't know. Are they not? You're hyping me up way too much.
It's the other guys.
Yeah, exactly. No, my name is Lex. I've been creating content on Brawl Stars since day one of the beta, back when Ryan was still being awesome. I mean, he's still being awesome, but more awesome back then because we could see him all the time. Also, Ryan, now that you have a different position in Supercell, does that mean you're Danny's boss now?
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Not only Danny's boss, but like
yeah,
their boss.
The boss.
Everybody's boss. You guys better watch your P's and Q's here.
Yeah, I told them before this started, if they did a bad job, they're all fired. But I can't fire you, so you can do whatever you want.
Hey, I usually do it anyway.
Amazing. So let's get started. So for you, that maybe I also like to hear your opinion, and maybe yours too as well, Alex. What do you like about the Brawl community? Maybe we can start with you. Have something in mind?
Yeah, man, the Brawl community is so amazing in so many ways. I've been a gamer my whole life, and I've honestly never seen a community that's so supportive, so engaged, so interested in the game, and so also understanding of everything that the dev team is doing. We've had tons of ups and downs, good updates, bad updates. Lex remembers through the beta, it was a rough 18 months, but the community the whole time that I've seen has been really engaged, really interested, and also just understanding and supportive. Truly an amazing place.
How about you, Paula?
I don't know how can I go after that. No, but it's true. It's really amazing, and you can easily like compare it to any other community out there, and they are so kind, and they were so kind from the start. Like when I joined, and as we said, I replaced Ryan, and it was a big shoes to fill, right? And I had all this pressure that I put on myself, but then like when I actually was there and I got introduced, they were the kindest and like the most positive and like welcoming. So it was really cool, and I think we are really lucky.
Yeah, it was the same thing for me. Like I was right before we were like posting the announcement, I was like super nervous. I didn't know what to expect, but then actually people were super welcoming, and I was just like so glad. And I already knew a bit how the community was, and it was just like happiness, like seeing all the nice comments, all the fan art as well. Like thank you for that as well. And yeah, just super surprised. It was like a different world.
Yeah. How about you, Lex?
I think that one of the things that's always strikes me as crazy about, or maybe not crazy, but awesome about the community is that they're extremely passionate. Sometimes for the good, sometimes not for the good.
Sometimes too
but
much.
they're always just like really passionate, as well as they're extremely knowledgeable about the game. Like I'll see stuff on Reddit that I'm like, I didn't even know. I've been covering this game for almost 6 years, and I'm like, I didn't know that. It's like they rival Kairos's Brawl nerdiness, which is pretty impressive. So like their knowledge and their passion is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was, like following what you said about like that you didn't know like how they would react to your introduction, and I have the feeling that the community is like so positive on like when we announce like a new person in the team, that I wonder like if you can announce anything, like because I said like yesterday I tweet that I think you asked a question like what is it like, who is the best in Brawl Talk and why is it me, and then I said like we're replacing Ryan with a watermelon, and then everybody was like hyping the watermelon, like yeah, watermelon, the new community manager.
We should have brought it. I forgot about the watermelon.
It's okay. Do we have a watermelon in the kitchen? No. It's okay. The joke is long gone. Yeah. But do you see like if the Brawl community is like different from the other games? Of course, like it's positive, but there is something like specific that you guys have seen that is very unique to the Brawl community.
Well, I think one of the things, and it's also a popular topic right now, is the whole thing about the lore and how they care about the character's backstory and like who they are and why they do what they do. I think that's super cool because I have the feeling from the Brawl team and our work, we never really gave them that much, but they created so many things with so little information, so little like stuff that is very impressive. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I keep thinking that maybe we educated them in a wrong way, because like when we introduced the lore for the first time, everything was like cryptic and mysterious, right? It's like now even if we post like a normal announcement of whatever, they're like there must be a secret in this image somehow. So yeah, maybe we've, but I think it's good to have like this space that when we are being cryptic and mysterious, then we have the room to do it. And actually like because the people who are doing the lore, like our marketing team, they were concerned like, is this too hidden or is this too mysterious? And like on day one, they like found everything, and like they I think there was what's the name of the player? I think it's Ido or something. He's running a script to find every single possibility of like force bruting No.
Bruce Forting.
Bruce
Force, is that a superhero?
Yes. He's
We're
like,
professionals. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah. He's trying to find like every single possibility of codes out there, and it's super impressive. So basically like any challenge we can give to them, they will solve.
I think it's really amazing too, because in the beginning we didn't think too much about, the depth of the characters' backstories.
Yeah.
But then the players started coming up with backstories and deciding, who Piper was in love with, and all of these intricate details about the characters' motivations and who they loved and all these kinds of things. And that inspired us to actually double down on the lore and figure it out so that we could give back and build on that.
Yeah. So that's true. All of the things you see in the lore is inspired or actually following what the community has been saying. I don't know if we should like break already the positiveness, because I asked like what you like, what do you dislike about the Brawl community? Is there something that comes to your mind? Maybe someone has something to say.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
I miss them too much.
Come on, that's a cop out.
No, that's true. But it's true that I really miss, because now I've been like kind of like hidden for some time because I'm not out there, because my work happens in the shadows at the moment, and I really miss that, like like being more exposed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm still thinking about something maybe that I don't like. You can continue and I'll keep.
Do you have something like?
Oh yeah, I'll talk directly at them. Y'all be too toxic sometimes. Seriously. Like, I know that it comes from a place of you're passionate for the game and you care, but sometimes it comes across a little bad.
That's true. That's true.
I guess like there's a good thing and a bad thing where the Brawl community isn't patient, right? And of course that can be difficult as a community manager, but also that's a huge strength because it means that when we want things to go crazy and viral and explode, they're there for it for sure.
Yeah, and I think I think like maybe the toxicity, but like also like we just had like the Brawl Pass communication, and like if they just had read the thing before commenting because they saw the headlines, and of course like it's very natural. Like I think every I don't know, piece of paper are actually going for the clickbaits and then for the crazy headlines because they want people to share those things without reading, and I think that's like a cultural problem anyway. But like maybe be more informed because we are giving information, right?
Yeah.
It's like we are open to give all the information they're asking us, and then maybe before, like I want to express my opinion on social media, like before I maybe get informed a little bit more, because I think it's actually better for the person, like because most of the comments I've seen, of course, like changing the pass from gem to IP is a nerf for the players who used to buy the Brawl Pass, but they are making these comments of like, my progression is being nerfed or everything, and then all the comments below it is like, just read the things. Like you are making like a bit of a fool sometimes, right? So just be more informed. I think that's
just read more.
Very deep.
I found something that I don't like.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
It took me a while.
Yeah.
No, but it's true. There is. I never like this kind of like almost like black market of accounts and like how like I know this is a huge topic, but like that people like trying to sell accounts or like pushing for trophies. I feel like sometimes it seems that the more trophies you have, the more popular you are in the community or something, and some people feel so pressured on that they are willing to pay someone to go into their accounts and for them to to get trophies fast. And then it's like, and I never understood that concept. It's like, if you really want to have more trophies, you should play more the game and like and don't get in trouble because of this, because then you're like, then both people are in trouble, like the person who is pushing trophies and the person who is giving the account. So it's like, and then of course they want us to help them, but it's like, I really can't because this is bad. This is something no one should do, and it puts us in a very difficult situation where like you really want to help, but you really can't because they did something that is not allowed.
And this actually is a very good point, because sometimes happen that like, because of course like mistakes can happen and someone can maybe be unfriendly banned, right? Of course like it's a very minuscule percent, but it can happen. So like if someone tell us like, can you check this account because it was unfair, I don't know what happened, then we go there and like we ask support to check it again, and then like we start seeing like all the information from the account, and then we ask for more information from the player, and then they say like, I share my account with this person. Like, why didn't you tell me this beforehand? Like it
it's very tricky. It's really tricky because we all, of course, we want to help, but like sometimes we just can't.
And so actually one of the questions, like, do you miss the community? But you answered already. Do you want to explore more?
I really miss it, and I'm sure we'll build something similar that is as good as in Brawl for Squad Busters, but now in
Brawl be better.
I'm not gonna say I'm not taking sides here, okay? I'm being very neutral, so please respect that. No, but yeah, I really miss that, but I'm so excited to do stuff for the new game. But of course, never forgetting Brawl Stars. And I keep playing the game, I keep streaming the game, and I keep cosplaying characters, Brawl Stars characters. So it will always be my passion. So yeah, it's always there somehow.
How about for you, Ryan? It's like now you only do paperwork, this boring bureaucracy.
Paperwork, meetings, that's it. I miss everything. I miss so much. I love being in Brawl Talks. I loved... Okay, I'm going to tell a little story here so everybody get comfortable.
Nice.
So like when I said, I gamed my whole life, and one of my favorite times of the year was E3, which is, if you don't know, used to be the place where all of the AAA gaming companies would announce their new games, new updates, all these things. And I loved, of course, to hear the announcements, but I was in a way very jealous of the people on stage who got to say it. So I always watched this guy named Major Nelson who did this for Xbox, and I looked up to him a lot because it's such a cool moment to be on stage in front of thousands of millions of people, and you get to tell them the thing they all want to hear, and everybody's happy, everybody's psyched up and excited. It's like it's the best feeling in the world, or so I imagined at 10 years old or 13 years old. And then, of course, getting to come to Supercell and make that my career was incredible, and that's what we got to do for years and years, and there's just nothing better.
Yeah, unless you announce a bad update.
Just don't do that.
Or the game getting killed.
But yeah, I guess like you were a Royale player before, right, Lex?
I was indeed.
Yeah, and then do you miss something about were you involved in the community back then?
No, dude. Like, so I made probably 100 videos on Clash Royale, and nobody watched my videos back then because I had just started, and there was a lot bigger creators. It was going to take me a long time for me to get noticed. So nobody. I think my biggest video in Clash Royale was probably like 15,000 views or so, which is still pretty impressive, but it's not, anything crazy. Things didn't take off until Ryan invited me in to the creator program over here with Brawl, and that's what set things off for me. So. I don't miss too much about Clash Royale. I actually still play it daily, but I don't miss anything about it.
Yeah.
Brawl's better.
Well, let us know if you
Correct
ever
answer.
move to another game. Let us know how you feel. How is the other
Okay.
game. Yeah, but please don't go. And I have a question for you all. Maybe for you, Lex, as well. Who's your
all right.
favorite content creator?
Ooh.
Hard question with a content
Fellas,
creator on
I'm
the
watching.
line.
No pressure. No pressure.
Do you have one, Lex? Maybe we start with you.
Well, okay. I actually don't. I watch very, very little Brawl Stars on YouTube, mainly because I don't want to get influenced by anybody else on what kind of video ideas that I have, and B, YouTube keeps recommending me woodworking videos, so I just watch those. So I actually don't watch a bunch, but I would say that some of my favorites are some of the tribe guys. Obviously, like Wasim, I think is extremely creative. Kairos, if I want to, know every statistic under the sun. Ray, if I just want to chill. Ben, if I want to do some crazy things, or OJ as well. So probably he's one of the tribe guys, but I don't watch a ton of Brawl Stars YouTube.
How about you, Paula?
For me, I don't think I could name one person at all. Like, because I just think about many.
Oh, sure you could.
No, I don't think so. I'm trying.
No, I'm just
I'm
joking.
trying. But of course, I think I have a bigger space in my heart for the Spanish and Latin American community because language does these things, right? So we just understand each other better, and it's just easier. And always that I go to YouTube or I go to Twitch. I usually watch more Spanish-speaking content than English, so I feel more connected to them. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have any concrete names.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say the same. I'm trying to come up with a definite answer, but I don't know. There's things that I like about different creators. I like Lex's humor a lot. And I don't know, I like how Kairos goes into details about everything. It feels like a really, almost seeing a review of a game. His videos for me are that kind of thing. And yeah, I watch a lot of Spanish ones as well because I used to Spanish. I used to work a lot with the Spanish community.
Yeah.
And I got to know a lot of them as well. So lots of times it's my go-to as well. That is not English, is the Spanish ones. Sometimes to go a little bit crazy, the Brazilian ones as well. But yeah, I would say that it's really hard for me to choose one.
Do you watch Brawl content?
Yeah, I mean, so I can't pick one, and that's too hard. But the YouTubers that hold a special place in my heart are, of course, the ones that were there in the early days in beta. Lex and Kairos, Corey, Ark, Ray, I think was there back in the day. It was such a special moment when the game was in beta, and I know you guys were struggling because it's very hard to get views when a game is in beta. So we were all in the same boat where we were betting everything that this game would go global. These guys betting careers on it, and of course us on the team really wanting with all of our hearts to make it go. So it was such a journey, and yeah, really good connections with all of those guys.
Yeah, and I like the fact like all your answers is like depends on the topic or what you wanna watch. Because like there is like this guy from Brazil, Lucas Clashon. He like makes those stories based on gameplay and like he's super creative and like when he was in the World Finals in Paris last year, and actually what a coincidence I have here like some swag
Look at
of
that.
the World Finals.
What a coincidence.
Yes, this episode
nice.
is sponsored by Brawl Stars World Finals. Yeah, it's
You had to
happening.
read.
Because I don't know if it was like championship or something.
Which game do I
Yeah,
work for?
Are you gonna use it?
It's yours.
No, I wasn't asking for it, but thank you. I will.
But yeah, so like this creator, he just said like, oh, I'm gonna make a video about like my trip to the World Finals, and then can you just say one line here? And then I said like something really poorly or whatever, and then he makes like this 1 second like the biggest and the most incredible video ever, right? So it's and then like I go like for Vinho for the Brazilian news, and of course like Kairos, I really love how he understands development of game development. It's like it's actually like it's good because he always take both sides. But the general content creator or like the player, they only see the player side, right? So I think Kairos gets a lot of heat because he see the both sides of the things.
But a lot of respect as well, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And of course, like Lex for the creativity. I think he's like 2-time Brawly winner.
Hey.
Yeah,
I have one twice now. Are you guys going to be doing a third one this year?
that's a question for that. And I think
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah. And but yeah, like Crime Man, he's like a pro that's making like more educational content. So there's a lot of like really good content from, and I really like how they kind of like, I don't know if like they are doing in a how to say like organized way, but they structure themselves in niches, right? It's like you go for like crazy stuff or like more funny humor, and then you go to Wasim for like extremely crazy videos or things like that. So it's really cool how they structure themselves and they find like how can I be different from another person. Now you have like the Michael who is going full on lore, and like his videos that he talks about lore performs a lot better than his other videos. Like it's nice that he found like a niche.
Yeah.
So yeah, really cool. Really happy with the community and your work. There was a question here, like how do you feel is working in Brawl? Because like maybe like you told a story like you saw like the Xbox announcement and everything, and then when you came to Supercell, how did it feel? Like did you realize or was your a dream come true moment, or did you see like, oh, maybe that's not what I was expecting? Or
No, yeah, I mean, it was an interesting... So I started on Boom Beach, actually, way back in the day. And that was, of course, my eyes are full of stars being on a game that big, and I really loved it and loved the community there, too. And the lore of that game was also really fun to play with as a community manager. Coming to Brawl was a really interesting road because, of course, as I said, went through the beta, and that was the whole time. So we, of course, test our games internally before we release them to the public. So we tested Brawl with the company maybe even a year before it went to beta, and we did a little tournament inside the company to see, just to try it out and see if it was fun, all that kind of stuff. And that was when I knew this game's got it. I could tell even then it was rudimentary with broken characters and no visuals and just some mechanics in it. Brock was a robot at that time. And but even then I knew the game had it. And so although there were lots of ups and downs and worrying about would this game go global, would it get killed, what were we going to do, I was still confident the whole way through, because at the core of it, and Lex, you'll remember, we changed the meta how many times? Like, I don't know, 3-4 times. We went from vertical to landscape. We did all these things, but still the core gameplay remained pretty close throughout, because I think we knew that had it in it the whole way. So I had the confidence in the game the whole time, and it was definitely a dream come true, even from the beginning when I joined, when it was very early.
How is it for you, Marcio, that you just joined?
It was a dream come true, yeah. Like, it's a very emotional path because I've been playing the game ever since it came out on beta. And like I was there when I was seeing the announcement, and I was working for player support at the time for Clash Royale and Clash of Clans, and we kind of knew that there was something happening that day. So as soon as it got announced and it went into the shops, like I was like part of that group of going with the VPN, like trying to find a dirty way to download the game, and I managed. And
don't do this at home.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to ban you now.
We'll cut this in post edit. But yeah, like I fell in love with the game. Like I was like playing every day, like to the point where I actually hurt my finger from like doing like this movement when it was like the drag thing. Yeah, I loved the game. And after a bit, I started working as a community manager for Clash Royale in a local language for Spanish. And then the game got announced that it was gonna go live, and I was like asking my superiors, "Can I please go to this game? This is like my favorite game." And at the time, like the need was for Clash Royale, so I had to stay. But I still managed to go to actually the release of the game. I was there like supporting like the local languages as well. It's like one of the moments that I'll remember forever. And yeah, at that time I would never imagine that I would make it here. So it feels like, you know, like the movie Creed or Rocky or something like that I've spent all these years preparing myself for this moment.
Yeah.
And when earlier this year, like I went through the process, and like there was the option of like going to several games, I was like, no, I want Brawl. Brawl is number
Brawl
one.
or nothing. Okay, get out. How about for you, Paula?
Yeah, it was for me. It was incredible. I cried like the day they told me, because
Cry on the beginning, cry at the end.
yeah, I cry a lot. No, I actually don't cry that often, but yeah, I did. So yeah, and actually it's funny because before coming to Supercell, I was already streaming the game. I was the cosplaying the characters, as I said before, and so for me, this was like my hobby. It was my passion, and then I had my other job that I also liked, and it was also in the gaming industry, mobile games. But I was doing it out of like, you know, just the passion of it. I really like Clash Royale and Brawl Stars, but Brawl Stars was like, I was also there from the beginning, and it was really cool. And then when I initially, this is a long story, but I applied for Clash Royale for a role for community manager. And then through the process, at some point they asked me if I would mind if from here I applied to Brawl Stars instead of Clash Royale, because there was another person, Max actually, who's been there in Clash Royale, and then they hired him for Clash Royale, and then suddenly I was interviewing with Ryan and with Frank, and I was like, oh, this is so cool, like hi. So yeah, like that moment, and when they told me that I got the job, and I was like, this is crazy. This is really crazy, because I felt so lucky that you guys gave me the opportunity, because I didn't have experience as a community manager. I did similar things, and you know, I was in the community in different ways, but like, come on, this is Supercell. This is a big company. This is my favorite game. So it was a lot. It was just a lot. So I will never forget that feeling.
Yeah, and it's actually because you were moving to a lead position, then I was being alone in Brawl. And then like, oh, we have like those two candidates. Like, what if Paula joins Brawl? Yeah.
Yep.
It was crazy.
How about for you, Lex? How do you feel working in Brawl? Do you still have the fire in it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like it's been a crazy journey, like for us, from like me, and I remember Ryan, like when we would sit up, well, for me it was in the middle of the night. Like, you remember like the content creators sitting there waiting for like an update to launch, and it'd be like 3-4 o'clock in the morning for me. I'm like, no, I cannot go to bed until this update launches. And now it's just like, yeah, I'll schedule the videos. It's fine, whatever. But no, it was wild. And like, I remember when I was started covering Brawl, and I had been playing it for a while and making videos on it for a while. And I remember Ryan, or I didn't know it was Ryan. Well, I kind of knew it was Ryan, but Brawl Stars on Twitter sent me they followed me. And I remember thinking, okay, this was like going to be the thing that, was going to be, they were going to message me and I was going to be able to become one of, the official, Supercell creators. And I remember I got that notification at like 2:30 in the morning, which is the start of you guys' workday. And I was so excited. I didn't even sleep that entire night, dude. I was like, okay, you followed me. Send me a message now. I was so excited, but Ryan didn't do anything for like a day or so. He followed me and I was waiting and waiting. But no, it was good because like that moment, and it literally changed the entire course of not only me but my entire family's life, and it changed it for the better indelibly. And it's pretty amazing.
That's really cool to hear. Yeah, actually, I do that a lot of like messaging someone and then I forget, and then like the person waits for a day. I think maybe I have done that with Lex as well. Sorry, it's just that they have so much on our table, and then maybe we don't have focus.
It's just it's a power play. I had to leave Lex on red.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just left me hanging.
Yeah.
Have you ever been recognized on the streets?
I have.
Do you have some funny stories? Have you already, Marcio?
No, not I
yet.
don't think so.
These things don't happen in Finland.
Wait.
Yeah, okay. I said nothing. Maybe you can start.
Yeah, now I moved, but like because like the kids in my building, they recognize me, and I think through TikTok, because like he said, like, oh, are you on TikTok or something? So like, I guess they saw from there. But then like of course they are kids, and they are Finnish kids, so they are shy. And then every time, like, I don't know, I'll go out to get a pizza from that I order. Then they are like on the hall, and then they have like this awkward moment. They're like, oh, I'm like on my PJs, or like dressed like really poorly, and then they don't say anything, and then there's just this silence that, oh, they know me and I know them, and and I say like hi, and they don't respond back, and oh god.
And because of that, you moved.
Yeah, now I moved. They don't know where I live, but then there are other cases that like friends of those kids, they start putting like notes on my door asking for gems.
Oh my god!
Because the first one I actually gave like, it's a cute thing, let's just give something. But then it keep happening, and then like, okay.
You're like Santa Claus now.
Yeah, not anymore because I don't live there. But yeah, there's plenty of funny cases. Like, do you have any?
I have two stories.
Yeah.
So the first time I got recognized was a few years ago. I was in London for some kind of trip. I just in the back of a cab with my partner. And we were just chatting in the back, and the taxi driver in the middle of he was quiet the whole ride, but then in the middle of our ride, he's something like, hey, do I know you from somewhere? And I was like, no, doubt it. I don't live here. I'm not from here. And he's like, no, I definitely know you. And then we just kept talking for a while, and he was like, you were the community manager for Boom Beach. And I was like, yes, that's correct. And then the second time, which is probably my favorite, is actually when we went to G-Star in 2019 or so. And we had a big Brawl Stars booth there. It was really cool. Tons of fans playing the game, running around, taking pictures, all these things. And I was standing next to Dani just chatting about whatever we were chatting about. And a fan came up and was like really shy. And I think the culture there is not to go up and ask people for pictures and things, but very nervous and shy. I was like, can I take a picture with you? And I was like, oh, of course. And then he hands me the phone to take a picture of him and Dani. He had no idea who I was.
Yeah, like from Korea, I also have like something really embarrassing because I think the thing is that I created like this persona intentionally in Brawl Stars because like I don't use a cap naturally. Like
you don't?
That's the only difference.
Oh my god!
This is the persona, is it?
But like the character, like it's weird, like the hair and thing. Like it's something that caught your attention, right? So then, like in Korea, where everybody's like different, like we are very different from them, and then we have like this weird guy walking around. So like it's very noticeable. So I think that was the thing that maybe like if they look at you for like 1 extra second, they're like, oh, that's Ryan.
I appreciate you trying to make me feel better, but no, I don't think that's what happened.
but then like, so because I was like a weird person in that event, like a lot of people were like asking for pictures and autographs and everything, and like going like I couldn't do any route without like bumping someone for that. And then I was like getting used to that, like so whatever they hand me I was like writing and blah blah, until one person asks just for one information. So she was like, where is this in the map? And then I just signed her map.
See, the fame got to your head. It got to your head now.
And I'm like, oh my god, I just want to die here.
That's my favorite story. You told me this before, and I never forgot.
How about you, Lex? How is it fame for you?
I mean, I hardly never leave the studio. I go from home to studio, but I have been recognized obviously quite a few times. Some of them are rather awkward, like standing at the urinal in the bathroom and somebody's looking over at you and they're like, "Are you Lex?" I'm like, "Bro, can we just wait till this is done and we can have this conversation?" But I'll always remember the first time that I got recognized because I went into a coffee shop just to get some coffee. And there was a lady, and she had her kid with her. The kid was probably 10 or so, it looked like. And he just kept, looking at me and like awkwardly staring at me. And I felt very awkward. And this was back when I had probably only like 100,000 subscribers or so. And anyways, and finally I was like, "Hey man, how's it going?" He's like, "Are you Lex?" And for a moment there, I was like, oh, it's happening. The dream's coming true. And I'm like, "Yeah." And he looks at me, he said, "You look older in person."
Oh my god.
And then I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then he's like, "Do you know Chief Pat?" And I'm like, and I didn't at the time. I wasn't even traveling. I'm like, "No, man, I don't." He's like, "Okay."
Oh no.
And then it's like, so I was very uninterested to him because I didn't know Chief Pat and I looked older in person.
Turbo boosted your ego to the bottom of the sea.
Yeah.
Dude, I felt so good for a moment. It didn't last very long.
How about you, Paul? Do you have any good stories?
I was really good, but the first time it was in Barcelona. I was at a bar waiting for my dad, so I was just having breakfast there. And suddenly, so there was another table, like, pretty close to mine. And then I see on the, the side of my eyes, I see a kid with a phone like this and showing to his dad something, and then looking at me like trying to be, subtle, but they were not subtle. I could see. I was like, what's going on there? So at some point, the dad comes to my table with the phone in his hands, and he's like, "Excuse me, is this you?" With a picture of me. It was a terrible picture as well. It was a screenshot from a video, so my face was not great. I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And then the kid came, and then they asked for a picture, but it was really very sweet. And then I had the same setup, like situation where someone coming with a phone as well. It was a parent with a kid, and this was in a communion. So I was in the communion with my niece. And yeah, everyone was, looking at the thing happening there, and I was there at the back, and suddenly, like, I get like tapped on my shoulder, and then I see my face, it's like, "Is it you?" I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And then a picture. So I think they always try to verify if it's actually like me first, like, let me see. And then in another case, they were looking at my piercing, like, and the mom
Like
came
the
to me. I was
details,
eating a burger, and and she came. She was like, because I couldn't see the piercing in the picture, so I wasn't sure if it was you. So yeah. And then the other cases were like the kids don't really want to bother you, and then I get messages on Instagram. That I randomly see maybe that day after, and they were like, I think I saw you on this place, but I didn't want to, to bother you and your family at that moment, so I didn't say anything. And this happened I was in the middle of the mountains in Spain. It was like a llama trip. So I was with some llamas in a farm. So it was a very I don't know.
Very specific.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to find anyone there.
Let me just get this story straight. You were in the mountains with llamas alone, and
and then a llama recognized you.
Right, and someone messaged you on Instagram and was like, "I see you."
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, that's strange.
But they didn't say anything. No, but I was with my family there, and then I got the message, and I remember seeing the kid, but I wouldn't know they would recognize me. So, but yeah.
How often do you go hang out with llamas?
I prefer not to answer.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but
Next.
I think like the issue to me is that like we we are not used to fame, right? Because it's a new thing, and it's something that we even didn't even ask for, because like I
definitely asked for it. I for sure.
That was Ryan's dream. He already told that
100%.
story.
That's what I said from the beginning.
It's in our contract.
yeah, but then like I feel like I need to give something, or like to tell something to the person, like instead of like just replying hi or nice to meet you or whatever. So then like I end up in like lots of weird cases or situations. Like probably the person listening to this story will remember, but it's a nice thing. Like you don't worry. Like I don't think it's a weird or anything. But like there was one kid that like he saw me walking on the street, and then we talked, and then he went away. Like I think like he just asked if I was Dani. Then I said yeah I am. And then he said hi, took a picture. Then he left. And then like 5 minutes after, he came back with his brother and a bike. And then he asked like, can I visit the office? It was here in Finland. And then instead of like saying no, like a normal human being, because like no, it's like an office, like it's not like for visit, or like not it's not open for visitors basically. I said yes. And then we made an appointment. Like I got his email, and then he came to the office. Like I was like a bit busy on that day, so like I did a speed run with him, and I felt like I didn't even like let him talk about anything. Like it was just like this is blah blah blah, this is that, and then just rushing to the office. And then after like 30 minutes, the whole office was like toured. Then I said goodbye, and then he sent me an email afterwards like, thank you so much for that. Like I gave like some gifts and everything. Thank you so much for that. We didn't even had the time to thank you, so we would like you to invite you for lunch.
Aww,
yeah,
nice.
and I think that's super sweet, but it's also a bit weird, right? Lunch or dinner. And then I sent. I was talking like to my friends like, should I accept? Because like, what if they want my kidney or something? You know, like.
Yeah, they might.
But then they say like, yeah, what the hell? Like, just go. And then I accepted, but then like, I hate myself so much for that, because we booked lunch, and then I forgot about it.
Oh
yeah.
no!
And then after I had lunch, like 1 hour after, I like, oh no, I forgot about that.
Now they're definitely gonna want your kidneys.
No, but then we reschedule, and then we have a proper lunch, and then they were super sweet. Like one of them wants to be works with games, the other is younger, so he's still in school. So it was nice, but it is like a bit awkward to have like lunch with strangers that like, because for them maybe like they have a connection with you, but I don't have a connection with them, right? Because I don't.
I feel a little bad because like when we're doing stuff like this or Brawl Talks or whatever, that's the coolest we're gonna ever be. But when we're just like walking home from the grocery store with bananas and milk, there's nothing.
Yeah, I always say please not now. Like when I don't feel like myself, or like I'm just normal, or like I haven't done my hair, I don't know, stuff like I sometimes I think please not now. Like
I don't mind, but I just feel bad that I don't have like cool.
I can't announce
I got
any
nothing.
sneak peek.
Yeah.
Hey, do you wanna hear about the new Brawler? Yeah. How about how is it in the World Finals? Like a lot of people stops to talk to you, and you have like some funny or cool interactions?
The World Finals was fun. It's such a big event, like when you're watching it like from home, but when you're there, it's obviously a much different experience. But there's not like an insane amount of people there. So I definitely saw a lot of people that I knew of, or they knew me, but I had never actually met them. And I think that was my favorite part, is just actually getting to put a face to the name of some of these people that I had spoken with, but never actually met. But the World Finals is pretty awesome. Looking forward to this year too. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
Except it's probably going to be very cold.
Yeah, lots of ice. But yeah, I guess like those were the topics I had. We can go through the questions that the community has asked us, and I think Lex has some spicy ones.
I've got some questions for you.
Yeah. But before that, let's go through the sneak peek. And
sneak peek time, eh?
Yeah.
Oh,
this is new.
Okay.
Yeah. So, do you have anything? Like, if you have anything?
Any sneak peek? No.
Okay. Just asking. Like, if you have any squad hot sneak peeks, then it would be nice to have. But
we're still alive. That's good.
That's the status
Okay.
update.
Yeah.
Good to know.
So I will tell Lex like three things, and then of course we'll mute myself for the viewers, but then Lex will pick one for us to go deeper.
Okay.
So we have
Pressure's on me.
yeah, we have and what we have in the next update?
Oh my god.
Maybe 2 items.
Yeah, maybe you. Because it was the Brawl Pass.
Yeah, true. Then it's 2 items.
So you teased me with 3, but I only get to actually pick from 2.
Yes, I'm sorry.
We can make up
That's
a fake
okay.
one.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. Are we still muted right now?
Well, yeah, it will be in post, so yeah, we can mute as much.
Okay,
as
all right. I mean, because I want to hear about this at the same
Oh
time.
my god, you still remember?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, of course it. And like people have been wanting forever as well. Oh. All right. All right. All right. Tell me about the 5v5 mode.
All right, let's do it. So in the next update, we'll have a 5v5 game mode, and yeah, yeah. And then you're still experimenting on
Finally.
on how we want it to play. Like we're trying different modes, like we're trying Gen Grab, Brawl Ball, Wipeout, how they play out, and then maybe like the best one will actually be released to the community. But we also we don't want to just okay, so it's a Gen Grab, but now it's 5 players or 10 in this case. We want also to have some twist in each game mode, that will make sense to make it a 5v5. So yeah, and it will be more like an eventful thing, so it won't be in rotation. But that's it. 5v5 is finally coming to the game.
Woo!
That's crazy.
That's dope. It's exciting. I have so many questions, but I guess we'll just have to wait.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But yeah,
Hit the thing again. I like that. Oh, I love that so much. Can you do that after I finish all my sentences?
yeah. No, I can use this one.
That's right. Oh, I love it.
Ryan, how do you feel about having the catchphrase?
Oh my God.
That's right.
I actually love it. I thought when people started well, first of all, Dani was one of the first ones to make fun of me.
Really?
Yeah, and this crew, everyone in this room was the first ones to make fun of me, because I had a partner then, and after every time you finished a sentence, I felt like I needed to affirm it somehow,
Yeah.
and that became my thing. And then, of course, everyone on social media picked it up after I did it 8,000 times in a row. I thought at first I was very embarrassed, and I kind of oh crap, I'm a terrible community manager and brawl talker and all this kind of stuff. But now I love it. Now I think it's great.
I wish I had a catchphrase. I'm trying for years. Well, so that's that.
There you go. That's the one.
Just got to happen naturally.
Yeah. No, but that's right. It's beautiful. And I think the thing how it happened is because now I script Brawl Talk, but Ryan, since he's fluent, not fluent, but what is the
Great.
Fluent.
He's great.
No, but there is when you are born in the country that speaks that
native.
native. Yeah.
I thought he was trying to compliment you, because he's so great on camera. I was trying to have his.
I would prefer that. Say more nice things.
Yeah, but for a non-native, it is a bit hard to be on the fly to have a clean sentence, right? That you can express something very in one-liner that explains everything. For me, as I'm explaining now, for this one little information, I'm using lots of words. It's I script, and then that's why we are fluent in Brawl Talk. But for natives, it's easier. So naturally, when I finish a sentence, then that's right, because you're linking the things, right? So that was.
But you're freestyling this whole podcast.
Yeah, but it's imagine a Brawl Talk that so there's this brawler and he liked
I would love that. And I think that's actually how it happened, because there was some point in between where you had notes of what you wanted to say, but I was freestyling. And then when we connected them together, I kept saying that's right after this.
But Yeah, it's amazing. So, like, should we start with the? How many questions do you have, Lex? 71.
You know, I've got a full page and a half of questions here. So I mean,
Because we
you
have
may not
9.
get to all mine.
Okay,
Well,
then
you
we
only
start
have
with
9
yours.
questions.
No, 9 pages.
That's easy.
You have
no,
9
oh.
pages of questions?
Don't worry.
We're going
don't
to be here
worry.
all night. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's all good. So when we start with yours, Lex.
Okay. Are you sure you want to do this, Danny? You sure?
Maybe we can
You
do
wanna
one
start with
from
mine?
Lex
Oh, I'm
and
s-
then
I'm scared
one
now.
ours and alternate.
Hey, no worries, Ryan. For these, you know, you're off the hot seat. You and Paul are free and clear.
Good point.
But Marcio
Yeah.
and Danny.
Oh my
Good
God.
point.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, it's not live anyway, so
Yeah, we always have the post edit.
No, you're just gonna cut it out. Okay, I get you. I see how the
Only.
censorship is working here, Danny.
We're gonna cut you out
All right.
entirely.
Right? I'm just-
You've never been here.
So I've got a bunch of like tough questions, but I've also got some fun ones. So I'm gonna mix them up here.
let's go.
This one's from Marcio, actually. Marcio, now that you're working with the Brawl team, give us something about Danny that people don't know. The more embarrassing, the better.
Oh, I got
You have total freedom to do whatever. Yeah.
I don't know, on top of my head, I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I guess like people get really confused why we don't, for example, speak Portuguese to each other. Because we are both native Portuguese speakers, but we can only communicate in English for some reason.
Yeah.
That's not like specifically from Danny. Also because I think like whenever there's something like embarrassing, you're the first one to tell it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
I
right.
I have something.
Paula, the question was for you.
Go.
Thank you, Paul. You're saving the day.
He has a good and a bad side.
Oh, and actually, you guys can only see my good
No,
side
but
now.
Ever.
you need that.
You mean like physically or
No, I mean, it's not that
emotionally?
it's not that I think he has a bad and a good one, but he keeps saying it.
When these cameras go off, Danny is the meanest person in the office.
Like let me cover the bruises.
He keeps
So
saying
wait,
it.
which side? Which side's
Yeah,
his
I'm
good
trying to-
side? Which side's his
Right.
bad? Obviously, it's his left side. He thinks it's his good side, right?
No, you guys have to. Can you? Let me
He's
look
the
at
only one saying it. That's the thing.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
why
No,
it's so
it's coming up
funny.
to me.
Uh-huh. And then yeah, I'm not seeing it.
But then-
I think it's emotional. It's more
structure
emotional.
around your side of the face.
Like, it's a fact that people's faces are not symmetric, right? Therefore, there must be a good and a better and a worse side. But then, even like the crew here, they know that. And like, I always talk to the director, like, can you place me on my good side? And then he tries to do his best. So how it, actually, the boxing scene, we changed the environment. We had to change the whole stage.
They put him on the other side. It's like, no,
Yeah.
you can't look at it from that side.
So you're like Harvey
horrible.
Dent from Batman, basically.
Yeah, Two-Face. But let me explain. Like, I have justification because like my face will be seen by millions of people, right? So if I'm not happy with that, I think I have a
yeah.
bit of say.
I understand that, but I'm bringing it up because I honestly think that is not like people wouldn't notice.
Yeah. Oh no, the whole community will try like.
Yeah, no,
Now-
after
now
this,
they
we're going
will.
straight on Twitter and we're going to do a vote from your left side and right side. And
Oh
say
no,
which is
it's
the
my
good, which
worst
is the bad.
nightmare. Yeah.
And maybe you get used to it, just like Ryan got used to it. That's right. So he hated it at the beginning, but
I don't want that to be my catchphrase.
I'm sorry.
My left side's my good side.
Yeah. So your left one?
2023.
Do you have one good side, Lex?
No, both sides are my good side.
You do look very symmetric.
No, I'm not. I'm disfigured, dude. I'm like a gremlin over here, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Everybody's got their own weird stuff. Don't worry about it, Dan. You look
Amazing.
beautiful on both sides.
Yeah, mine embarrassing thing is that all of you viewers out there would be very surprised to know how many times behind the desk I'm standing on a box because Danny is like a full foot taller than me.
And I'm small, for the record. How about you?
Okay.
I know.
What?
You are making the questions, not anything.
Embarrassing things for you? Yeah. No, I don't really have any. Danny's a pretty cool guy. Honestly.
Thank you.
Okay. So here's one. Okay. So I know that we're not like diving deep into the upcoming changes with the Brawl Pass,
Yeah.
which is smart because we haven't tried it yet. Let's give it a shot, see how it goes. But this topic does kind of broach it indirectly. So I know that there's a lot of players who feel like Brawl Stars is becoming increasingly more pay to win. And while, of course, people who pay to buy stuff in games should be rewarded for those things, at the same time, there's many, including myself, who don't like the ever increasing power disparity between pay to win and free to play and paying players. Is there, what are your thoughts on this topic? And, moving forward, how far down to this rabbit hole do we go?
Yeah, I think it's a good topic to talk about. I think the thing we can't be tied to, or we shouldn't prevent ourselves to do, is to give more to people who are actually willing to support the game, right? Sure. Why is it bad that if you are willing to spend your money on a game to support it, why shouldn't we give you more? It's something that. So that means that the only way for a player to actually have this difference between a free-to-play account and to get more power is to spend a lot. It's that is even more predatory, right? It's because it's already a reality. If you want to max out your account on day one, you can spend a lot of. And I don't recommend that to anyone, by the way. Buy the passes is the best offer we have. But yeah, I think it is I don't know. What is that meme? It's a honest work, right? We are giving more if you are willing to support the game. And if we don't have people supporting the game, then it's bad for everyone. So I guess we are not so worried about that because it's already a reality that but we are giving more to people who are willing to go a bit beyond than just playing the game. So I think we see of course we don't want to have more players being stronger than the free-to-play players, but also with the new pass, this is also not a reality because you only use certain number of brawlers to play, right? It's not if you are compare maxed accounts, then yes, then people will max the account faster, but who does that?
Yeah, the average player doesn't.
When you are playing a game, you play your 15 brawlers. And we are already giving more resources to the free-to-play players. So, competitive, we are going to be actually in a better scenario than we were before. So, right. Yeah, I wouldn't be too worried about that.
I totally get it from that perspective that obviously people who are, shelling out their money to help support the game, obviously they should be rewarded for doing so. No objection there. I do, and I think that for most people that they didn't, they missed that they just read the headlines. They missed out on the details of the pass. That it is actually better for the vast majority of people the changes that the Brawl Pass is going to be bringing. Now, and I do have a very fringe case, of course, when on my free to play account where I'm pushing all of my brawlers up high.
I see.
It's definitely not as good for me there because the disparity between my account and a maxed out account is going to continue to grow, which I find a little bit frustrating. Although I will say, you guys, your power level scaling on each level, you made me upgrade some brawlers.
Yeah,
begrudgingly so. Playing level 9 brawlers up around 700 trophies is it gets pretty rough. So I did have to upgrade some brawlers, which I'm not happy about. But I don't know. I just think that this topic it's always a little bit touchy, I guess, when you bring in money. And I think that we also might have been spoiled a bit. Maybe you can confirm this, that for the past many years, Brawl has been an extremely free-to-play friendly game. And maybe too much so, or so that now it seems like any changes seem so drastic to the free-to-play player base. I don't know. Yeah. I just don't want to see, too much monetization.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
I'm all for monetization.
Yeah. Well, now people can use code LEX win the pass because it's IFP, right? But of course,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it is a thing that it's kind of a taboo that people are not very open about it. But if we monetize the game well, we can actually grow the game in all sorts. We can increase the size of our team. We can show the company that the game is worth investing on or in, or we can make more ads.
Lore.
Yeah, more lore. People love the lore, right? We can create lots of those animations that people like to see. It's if we monetize well and it's not in a predatory way, we are like asking too much for a very few people. Like we are asking a bit of money for a lot of people, and then if we monetize well, it is better for everyone because the pass gives you more value. So it means like in the long run, you are spending less because you are getting more for your investment, which makes the game continue to exist for the free-to-play players. So I think it is a bit tricky to talk about those things because I see like, yeah, if you talk about money, then like it becomes like the top headline, like you are a greedy person and everything. But I don't know, like it's a business, right? And we need to exist. Like if you like the game,
Yeah,
you should be happy that someone else is actually supporting it.
sure. And I said that in my videos that, you know, if every single player who played Brawl Stars never spent any money, there would be no Brawl Stars. It would cease to exist.
Yeah.
So, I mean, somebody's got to be paying for all the development. And, you know, luckily there's a lot of players out who love the game and are willing to spend some money on the game. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. It not only makes the game exist, but it also provides jobs for everybody that are working on the team. I mean, it's a good thing. And I think that overall that Brawl Stars has been extremely generous in most things when it comes to monetization. I will say that on the free pass, and we'll see more when it actually comes out. The only thing one of the two things that I didn't like about it, from what I read, willing to wait and see, but the feeling that it gives somebody when they buy the pass, it's a special moment. It's like, oh, this time I get to buy the pass. Even so now, if a free-to-play player isn't getting it and they're still getting more rewards, which they will be, that feeling's kind of gone a little bit, but it's still, in the end, it's going to be better for the vast majority of people, which is a great thing.
Yeah, but that's like, I guess there's no other way around it. We just thank it and we are very honest about it. Like that's the nerve, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And actually, if you monetize well, it allow things like squad busters to actually be made. So like it's not
Bring on
only
Squad
Brawl,
Busters,
right? But it's the
let's go.
company and allow like more new games to be released.
You guys have been pumping out a lot of games in the beta here lately.
Yeah, yeah. And actually it gives the freedom for like if I don't want that this scenario happens, but if Squad Buster doesn't work out, we have the freedom to say like, let's not release this game because it's not worth it. Like we don't have the pressure to release a game because like we can still support ourselves with the live games we have, right? So we hope it doesn't happen, but it's good to be in the situation which like most of the companies are not. Most of the companies are like, there's a publisher behind it and like ship this game on that date and then they have to ship something that they don't believe.
All right, so here's a question, I guess, for all of you. What do you guys feel like is the biggest mistake that Brawl Stars has ever made?
Whoa.
Going to landscape.
What?
Hey, I love Portrait Brawl. I'm with you.
I actually
At the time, I was in that Brawl talk with Ryan when I oofed him, but the community hated it. It ended up being the right thing, obviously, but like it was very hated in the time.
Yeah, I just love. I mean, as I said it, and I don't really mean it because I love the game as it is right now, so I just got used to it. But like, I just miss portrait games. Like I like playing with one hand while I'm doing something else.
Eating,
And all the games that I love the most are all of on mobile. They are landscape. So I'm always like forced to stop doing whatever I'm doing to play a match, and I would just love to have this kind of game where I can just do like this, like Clash Mini, but yeah. So I would have loved to see the game. So I'm curious to know, like in the case where like Brawl Stars survived as a portrait game, like how would it be? Like I would love to know that. But yeah.
That was the exact original theory, was that it's easier to play with one hand. That's why it was developed initially that way. That was the whole premise.
But yeah, then of course many of the things that we see today in Brawl wouldn't make sense on a portrait. And I think portrait game, and also we would be much more limited on the things we can do. So of course it was the right decision, but like still
It
like
felt weird
damn
at
it,
the time.
only because we saw it once,
Mm.
like this thought will never like go completely
Yeah.
away.
People always want what they can't have. Yeah. How about for you, Ryan?
Worst mistake ever. Man, that's a really hard one. I mean, it's hard because when I'm thinking about all the things, not all the things, some of the things that we did that I maybe disagreed with, the reasoning was there
Yeah.
as to why we did it wrong. So it's hard for me to think about the result without the path there. I'd say probably the worst mistakes were during beta when we remade the meta so many times. We made metas that just did not work, that were way off, and then we scrapped the whole thing and made a left turn, and we reinvented the game many, many, many times in a row. But again, it was part of the path to get to
Yeah.
the thing that worked. But yeah, it took us a long time to get right.
Do you have something in these months, or maybe it could be some from where? you
Yeah,
were not-
something I guess more related to the work that we do.
Yeah.
That is actually related to the skins.
Ah, yeah.
When we made the question to the community about the skins,
Yeah.
we about bringing back exclusive skins or with some color changes or some kind of detail changes or something. I feel that it was such an important thing, and we wanted to really get the community viewpoint, but we could have waited maybe a little bit more and get like the message a bit refined or something, and we ended up doing like this whole text that was like really nice structured. Like we gave like a lot of cool details, like
Yeah.
we said like what we would like to do, what would be some of the things, and we even like told so many times that we were taking into account people's feedback. But then for some reason we put this poll
Yeah.
in the game, and like people kind of freaked out a little bit, especially when they started seeing that bringing back option was winning.
by far.
Yeah. And even though we were like just keeping on saying that like we are not only taking this into
Yeah,
account, we're
yeah.
also taking into account the comments, like it felt like a mistake from our side of things, let's say.
Yeah. Yeah, because like from my side, I think many times I've reacted too fast on community questions or something. Like if someone, because like of course the community is very emotional as well,
Yeah.
but we shouldn't react on the same emotion. Like we should be the ones that tone it down and then answer in a normal way. But sometimes it happens that someone is accusing you of something, then you get like triggered and then you answer immediately. Like, man, I shouldn't have done that. And now like I'm more control. Like you can see that I'm not super active on Twitter, for example. It's just because like, yeah, if there's a question that's really relevant, then I answer in the next day. Or if this question will be answered by like a game update or whatever, then I don't answer, because like what is the point, right? I can give you like 1 day before like knowledge, but then the game will answer. So like I feel like the more I'm in this role, the less I feel like the individual Dani matters. It's more like the broadcasting this information, right? So like how can I inform more people about this specific thing rather than answering this one player? So like it kind of sacrifices the proximity or like the closeness that we have to the players, but at the end of the day I believe that at least more people are being informed. But yeah, that was like my mistakes. But I guess like if you're looking for the Brawl thing, then I think undoubtedly for me in my period was the gears.
I was thinking
Yeah.
that was the next thing I was
And
gonna
then
say.
actually because like Ryan was still in the team, and I remember I was talking to Ryan and I feel like, Ryan, I don't think this is gonna go well. And then I was like, should I tell the team on anything? And then Ryan said like, yeah, please, it's better like if you speak out rather than you keep to yourself. And then I made like a long text of like why I don't think this is good, like why we are not reaching our goals. And of course, like we discussed with the team, and then we ended up going with it, because at the end of the day, we also like we have to be humble to like that we don't know what will be the outcome of the things, right? We have to put it out there to see how it goes. But well, like a self tap on my shoulder, everything that I point out started happening as almost like a prophecy. And then I felt like, I know what I'm talking about. So like I felt like proud of myself. But and then another thing is that when we had this update, we were filming the Brawlies, and then I was filming a message to the community on the same day they were hating me so much And then it's like,
Oh.
yeah. But then
It's like you guys are great, but not those 10,000 messages I just got.
but I think it's nice that you have to think of like, okay, so long term, this will like be a problem that will go away, or like we will solve somehow, and then let's do the next thing, right? Because of course, like the Brawlies will be like, I don't know, 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was tough.
But yeah, I think it's tricky with stuff like gears, for example, because sometimes you think about the features from your, well, most of the time from your own experience and your own way of playing the game. And of course, we are not game designers. We're just players and community managers. So we kind of know the players. We know the games we like, how we like things. And for me, gears, it was something that I wasn't interested in because I play Brawl in a very casual way, and I am more into cosmetics and stuff than progression itself. So for me, it was like, well, yeah, sure, I will buy some. I will just watch Kairos videos about like which one is better for each character, and that's it. But I wasn't excited about it. But then some of the people who are more on the like competitive side, or like they are more like more hardcore players, they were like really into this concept, and I was like, whoa, okay. So if we manage to hype people as like these people are right now, then this is a great feature, and I won't care about it, but like apparently maybe many people will care about it. So it's like it's super tricky to flag these things, because you never know if it's just based on your experience, if this applies also to other people, or like so it gets really, really complicated.
I think that's so important to point out, that we try our best to have a sixth sense to know how the community will react, if they'll love a feature or hate a feature, but still we're doing our best guess, and we don't know until it's in the player's hands. And I think you guys, Lex, when you get the early access, you've loved some things that we've put out, and then we've all been stunned if the community didn't like it.
Right. No, I think that it's one of those things where even if you think that the community is going to not initially take well to it, if you still think that it's in the best interest for the game long term, you're still going to ship it, because you think that they're not going to like it, they're going to get used to it, and in the end it'll be a better thing for the game, right?
Yeah, the thing that the gears weren't. So that's why we reworked eventually.
Yeah,
like
I think that on the gears update, it wasn't so. The gears were definitely boring to me. They still are a little bit, but it was more like adding 2 levels at the same time. It just felt like such an insurmountable thing. Like I spent $5,000 in one video, and I still didn't even fully max out. I really regret that video, by the way.
Wow.
But we learned.
All right. Well,
from that,
since go ahead. What?
We learned from that, and then if we could go back, we would probably, of course, like have the gears in a rework design, but also like releasing only 1 power level instead of 2.
Yeah. Well, speaking of gears and the boring, so it's kind of centered around that, because I was actually talking to Kairos yesterday, and we were both talking about how we still feel like Hypercharge is too expensive, but because like whenever you're leveling up, like when you get your gadget at level 7, it feels so worth that extra 1,000 coins. It's like, oh, this is a really impactful thing, and then the gears are just like, what's whatever. Star powers, which cost twice as much of a gear, don't usually feel as impactful as a gadget. Sorry, I misspoke. So star powers feel less impactful than a gadget do. Depends on the star power, but for the most part. And then hypercharges, while are very cool, for 5 times the cost, they don't feel like they give you 5 times the fun. It's almost like the awesome factor is almost inverted a little bit between gadgets and hypercharges. Do you still feel that hypercharges are priced right? Could we possibly see a reduction in cost, or
I think
is that just it?
I would say like I don't know what the team feels about it, so like I'm speaking for myself, but I think that the team approach would be to actually make the hypercharge to feel the thing that you are missing, instead of like decreasing the price, because I think like economy wise, I think we are in a good place right now, and it allows us to buff progression, which means that most of the player base will benefit from that, because most of the players don't even reach power 11 anyway, right? So like they reach with some brawlers. It's like if we give room to ourselves to buff progression in a general way, because hypercharges cost this price, it's actually beneficial for the whole community, actually, even if some has to pay the price of the hypercharge. But I think it's better like if you fix the design rather than the price, because at least we are in a good place. economically.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
While are you talking about buffs? When are we going to get a buff to coins, Danny? Like every time I go to
Just happened.
upgrade a brawler.
In
No.
January.
I want more. We want more because
Not enough.
we always want more, Danny.
Hey,
Like whenever I go to upgrade a brawler, I don't even look at my PowerPoints. It's like I know I have enough of those. It's pure. The bottleneck is pure coins.
I
Give
think
us more coins for the love of God and everything that's holy. Give us more coins.
I think the issue is that coins are very, like when people ask for a buff, they want to see like a clear buff in Brawl Pass, which is like a recurrent thing that you can always see how in the long term is getting buffed, right? But today we just announced that the Mega Pig event will be run for 4 weekends in a
4
row.
weeks.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah, that's
already
awesome.
a buff, right? And then as we communicated in the Brawl Pass communication, we want to run more crazy events like the shooting Starr Drops or things like that. It's like we want to have like this, budget of resources that we can include in those events to make those events better. It's like I don't.
Okay,
think,
so like
yeah.
you're just saying that basically like instead of like a static,
Yeah.
nonstop buff, you're having bigger special events, and that would be the buff to those things. That's
Yeah.
cool, and that's good for like me and players to look at it in that respect. That's cool.
Yeah, but I guess the bad thing of that is that players don't perceive
Yeah.
as a buff because they see this as a bonus, right? So I guess, but
Right. It is. That is exactly the way I've always looked at it as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. This is more of a topic / suggestion / maybe, and it's not a new one, but Starr Drops, which I think Starr Drops are pretty great. If you ask over on Reddit, they probably would disagree with me, but I think that they're fine with the exception of the cosmetics in there. Because while it's always cool to get a cosmetic and it's worth something, it always feels like I'm going to get that one cosmetic that I don't even. It's like, oh, cool, I got this profile icon that I will never use, or hey, I just got a mythic Starr Drop and I got Constructor Jackie. Yay! That actually happened to me the other day. It was kind of disappointing.
That's a skin is
Instead of
even
like
better than a
giving
profile.
somebody a standard drop, why couldn't you make like a rarity token? Like you get an epic skin token in this where you can go over to the catalog and pick out whatever skin you actually want so that reward actually feels like a reward and not a
Yeah.
disappointment.
Yeah, I guess like there of course maybe could have a better balance, but the thing is that random ability allows us to give more. It's like if you can't pick what you want, then it means that we can give you more bling value. Because like if you give like exactly what you want, you pick like I want this ping and this, and then you never buy again. It's like the thing is that we are allowed to give more
Okay.
resources because of the randomness. Because like what we see is that people buy the skin they want and they are cool. Like, but hey, we have like so many skins, like can you buy other ones as well? It's like
I guess I didn't look at it from that perspective of like you got something for out of a Starr Drop that might have an effect on your purchasing decisions in the game.
Yeah.
I've never really looked at it, never connected those two dots. I still wish that I could choose something on there.
And some say like I guess our game designer keeps saying like bad results are actually they make the good results better.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna be
Getting slapped, getting slapped in the face makes it feels great when you don't get slapped
Exactly.
in the face.
No.
But it's funny because this is kind of related, but for Starr Drops, because you mentioned that when you get cosmetics, especially if you don't like those cosmetics, that you get kind of like meh, like feeling. And it's funny because every time I open a Starr Drop, I'm like, Jessie Pin, please, Jessie Pin, and I always get like credits, coins that
Other
I
resources.
doublers.
Yeah, what everyone
like
wants.
for me it's like the opposite. So but actually what I've been and then I've been thinking like why do I not like really enjoy Starr Drops that much? And I think for me it's something similar, but like I wouldn't like to choose the rewards because that's a lot of like this decision making I need to do, and I don't like that. So I prefer that you give me something. But it's true that what I don't like about Starr Drops is that the pool of rewards is so big.
Yeah,
And it's so like you don't know what to expect. So okay, you get the rarity and it's like, oh, it's gonna be mythic. But within mythic. You get so many different things, possibilities that is like I'm not sure if I'm excited because if I can get so many things that like and then I never get what I want because I want I want a skin and I never get a skin, or I want a pin or an emote and I never get that. So for me, I think the my biggest problem with Starr Drops is that they are not really like grouped into like different rewards. So like for me, the idea, like a perfect scenario would be where like the Starr Drops would have different like, so okay, this is the Starr Drop for resources.
Like
so
a cosmetic
Starr
Drop,
and this is the Starr Drop for cosmetics. So at least like your expectations are already like set at least on that group of things you can get. So I think that's my biggest thing with Starr Drops.
I think like improvement to Starr Drops is in the roadmap somewhere, but it's not like, I think it's not in the next update or anything. But yeah, it is something that we want to improve to have the more good results than upsetting ones. But wouldn't it be great if you can play an event called Mega Pig and get up to 20 Starr Drops in one event?
This episode is sponsored by
today's
Mega Pig.
Yeah, I was going to say today's video is sponsored by Mega Pig.
But yeah.
But I was really happy when you introduced Starr Drops as a like replacement kind of for the boxes. I think it brought a lot of the excitement that maybe the community lost a bit with the boxes being gone. So it's really cool still.
All right, I got a question specifically for Ryan, because I know that it was. I know that it's a good question. It's a fun question. How close was Brawl Stars to actually being killed?
Extremely close. Like during those 18 months, we as a team probably talked once a week about whether we should kill Brawl Stars. Like, it was a very common discussion. And just to give a little context, I think many of you know this, but at Supercell we want to make games that are played for years and remembered forever. So the bar is really, really high, and we needed Brawl Stars to get to that bar before we could consider a global launch. So as a game team working on a beta, this bar that you want to hit is important. And there's also this idea that if you believe that the game you're working on just isn't going to get there, it's on you to kill that game and move on to a new project so you can make the next thing. And that's kind of the thought process that we had throughout. And we were, I think, it was a healthy discussion on whether we should kill the game. But for a long time, we were far from the metrics that we needed to get to. But I'll repeat, the thing that we all knew is that the core gameplay was good. We all knew it was good the whole time. So we had to figure out, was it the meta? Was it skins? What were we missing? What was the missing piece there? And we all believed we could find it. But there was a moment in 2018, I don't know. There was a moment one summer, this is before we launched on Android and beta. And we launched Android during that summer. Before summer, we were all pretty convinced we would kill the game. We were fairly certain. And so launching on Android was like a last dash. It was a Hail Mary to just say, you know what, let's put it on Android. We'll go on Finland. We go on summer break in July. Let's put it on Android. Let's see what happens. And that was our kind of our last hope. And we went on summer break and we got back and the metrics were good. They were better. Things were improving. And we realized at that moment that people want to play with their friends. And when you're only on one platform, you can't, because some of your friends are on Android, some are on iPhone, and you can't invite all of your friends to play this game. So that was one of the magic keys that started to unlock it for us and made the game a lot more feasible. But a very long-winded way of answering your question, yeah, we were close many times, many times.
How different so many lives would be had it been killed.
Absolutely. And I'm
mine
really
and my
thankful.
family's included. Everybody at that table,
100%.
like your life would be so much different right now.
And it took
if
the
Brawl
belief
would've
of a
been
lot
killed.
of people
Kinda
on
crazy.
the Brawl team to just stand up and say, we know this game is good. We know we can do it, including Frank, who came in some months before that and basically said, this game is too good to kill. And he came into the team with a vision and said, we're going to make it work. We have to make it work. And that really helped us, get over the hump and launch it.
Beautiful.
That's awesome. Danny, give us some questions from the community.
All right, let's go. We can maybe do a speed run because you have lots. From Nana, hello, I love the Brawl Stars community. Thank you so much. What was your most memorable moment in the community?
First Brawl Talk.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, the reaction. Hello, Nana, by the way. I'm not sure where to look. But yes, I think so. I was so nervous, so like everything, many emotions, but like seeing the reaction and the people and like seeing the comments after that, like it was just so cool. Like I cannot even explain, but like that moment, I think I really treasure it. And my goodbye, my whole goodbye situation, that was really something super like that I carry with me as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like about that, like I was like super, because like I'm all about entertainment. And, like I want to make like Brawl Talk like the best entertainment piece it can be in the game industry. But then I want like, oh, so Paul is leaving, like let's make a very emotional moment, like, oh, let's have some tears.
Yeah.
And like I like no, but like she can do like whatever you want. Like I wrote like some speech, but I said like, Paul, ignore that, like write with your own words. But then like when she was talking and then she started crying, then I felt really bad, like, oh no, I didn't want that to happen, right? I feel like I'm exploiting this.
No, I would have cried anyway. It was a really big thing for me as well. I'm very like, even when I was writing the speech, I was like, oh, this is gonna be hard. And then it was like 3. I remember like very very clearly. It was 3 takes. The first take I could do it.
Yeah.
Kind of okay. Then we did it again, just like to have this multiple takes just in case.
Torturing Paula.
Yeah, the second, I was like already know, like okay. And the third one, I exploded. Like the third time, I had to go through the speech again. I was like, I just you can use this take, but like I'm not gonna do it again.
Yeah, I remember I was also like shooting. I was already here at that time, and I was like just behind the scenes shooting like some behind the scenes scenes with the phone. And when I started seeing Paula crying, I started feeling super guilty, and I just put the phone down. I deleted the video, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah. How about for you? The most memorable moment.
Most memorable moment, I think you would think it would be the global launch when we launched the game across the world. But actually, for me, it was when we announced that we were going to go global. That was my favorite moment and definitely the most memorable. For those who weren't around, I played a very dirty trick on everyone and very heavily implied to everybody that we were going to kill the game, and deleted everything off of all of our social media and just put one post that said we need to talk. And I didn't tell the YouTubers, I didn't tell anybody what was going on except that there was a big announcement. And seeing everyone's reaction to that was like the dream come true from when I was a little kid. It was great.
Yeah, that was amazing. For you as well?
It was fun. I still think that I will always think of the moment in Helsinki when me, Kairos, and Ash pressed the button to launch Brawl Stars globally in Europe and in the US. That was just like the culmination of 18 months of work and not knowing it's real, this is live, this is a whole new chapter to my life, which was a pretty special moment.
How about you, Marcio?
Yeah, I would say the Brawl Talk as well.
Yeah.
Like it's something that I always saw, like working on other companies as well, and like from the outside, like just seeing this thing that looked so fun to do and like so imaginative, and there was like so like the costumes, the backgrounds, like everything. And the first time that I actually saw you guys doing like the Rumble Jungle, I think, like
that was a really nice set.
Yeah, I was so
Kudos to
impressed
you.
by
It
the
was
set.
really
I was
amazing.
like, oh my god, I can't believe that I'm actually gonna be in one of these things. And then actually shooting the one with the fight, and and a very special thing was that there was the 3 of us there as well. So I seen you guys a lot, and I was like, oh my god, this is kind of the dream working with these 2 guys. So it was like very very emotional, and I was just trying to be serious all the time and not be like, oh my god.
Amazing.
But
Yeah, I think for me, it's not even a Brawl. Well, it is related to Brawl Talk, but I think it was when we released the first lore piece, like the Star Park campaign, because like we are doing like this premiere. We are having crazy numbers, and I think was it the year after? Like we got like 1 million people watching the premiere at the same time, which is like a crazy number, right? But then like these, so we were having like the Star Power campaign, and Brawl Talk was like glitching already, and then like it starts getting weirder, and then my head explodes, and then like in a live stream with like 800,000 people watching, there was a silence, like nobody was commenting anything because they were like, what's happening, right? And then like it was the first time I see like a stream like getting silent,
because prior to that, the chat was like fast. It was like unreadable. It was so quick, and then for a moment, it just stopped.
And I think it was like the most impressive moment. And then in this, there was a comment I still remember. Is someone say like, "Make it stop," which is exactly what we wanted with the campaign. So. Yeah, I think it was such a powerful moment. So I have a question for you all. It's actually this. That's the name of the player. What do you think of the current state of the community right now? Very broad. Yeah, maybe not if you are not following, but have you been following?
I'm
Did he
following, but
accuse
I
me of
think
not following?
The community.
I'm always lurking, but I think it's better that you guys comment on it.
Okay.
You know better.
Maybe Lex. I would like to see
Yeah.
Lex's point of view.
Well, I mean, he did say right now, and right now there's a lot of uncertainty, I think, from players that, they're nervous about upcoming changes, and rightfully so. But I think that in the end, they'll find that it's a good thing. So overall, I think people are, pretty generally good. But, we have our moments, and this happens to be one of those, anxious moments. Change is always hard to, digest at first.
Yeah.
But I think that in the end, once they see it all and once you get to play it, hopefully it'll all be great and everybody will be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a little bit of tension. Like people know that the game is going through some changes. There's lots of stuff happening, and there's lots of things planned to happen as well. But overall, it's still good to see, like, especially from my point of view as a newcomer, that there's a lot of trust in the developers, a lot of trust in the team, a lot of trust in us trying to do the right thing, which I believe that we are, and also being honest about it. And I think that's something that's been persisting, at least from my time here, and I haven't seen that change. So, yeah.
Yeah, actually talk about trust, and then I think that's a thing that I think it's funny, because like we have like a proven history of like listening to players and changing things that is not working out. But then every time you release something, they're like, "Oh no, it's the time." Now they are going like full like pay to win and those greedy bastards, and like haven't we given them enough examples for you to trust us? But I think it's funny. It's just like an emotional reaction, and actually that was a part of the strategy of the communication we did with the Brawl Pass, because we knew like the first day it's gonna be all about emotions, right? We don't want to expect anyone to go deep and like see the benefits or the actual changes. And then I even told like Paula and Drew, because like I shared the document with Drew, which has been through a similar situation with Royale, right? It's like he shared the learnings, like how he would have done better. So like it was really useful for us as well. But then I told like my strategy is like we drop the content, I go play PS5 for like the next 2 days, and then on Monday I'll see the comments. And
which never happened.
yeah, I actually was reading the comments, but anyway. But I did play some Spider-Man. Yeah, so I think the state is that I think we've given like a lot of examples of like why they should trust us, and like what we want is what they should want as well, because the best for the game. But I think like right now we are in a good place, because they know they can like trust us and read the communications we are providing there, and then everything we put out there we kind of like solve quickly. Like for example, the exclusive skins drama or polemic that we made a mistake on how we awarded and how we asked the question, but then we quickly came to a solution that pleased most of the players. And now with the pass, that is like, it's not exactly like a bad news, but it's actually above to progression. So yeah, lots of things. I think we are not.
One thing I do appreciate, though, one thing I appreciate with the way you guys did this, Danny, I will say is that you gave us a long heads up. I mean, these changes aren't going to be taking place until early next year, which is a great thing. Thank you for giving us such a big heads up. And secondly, is that there wasn't any kind of like cryptic language or anything. You laid it all out exactly what's going to happen. So there's nothing hidden. It's all transparent, and we know when it's going to happen and what exactly is going to happen. And so I think that's a big thing to, help bolster the trust that you have built in with the community.
Yeah, and that's
Thank
part
you.
of the. Yeah, and that's part of our vision.
I got the air horn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of our vision as well of the relationship we want to have with the community is one of trust, of clarity, of like giving everything that we can to the players and letting them make the choices that they want to do. Like having all the information to be able to make the best choices and the most valuable for them.
Yeah. And the strategy was also like to put everything out, right? To break down the feature as much as we can, because then you can like either like or dislike, but at least you are informed, right? There is no mystery or like anything that's like what about the future? It's like everything is like least down there. It's like you just have to read and wait.
Yeah. You may not like the changes, before even seeing them, but you may not like them, but at least everything that's happening. Nothing's being hidden from you.
Yeah, and I think broadly speaking on the health of the community, we don't necessarily need the community to be happy and agree with us all the time. The important thing is that they care. We actually want them to disagree, express their desires for the game, tell us things we did wrong or that we could do better. That's super crucial to making the game better.
Yeah.
And to quote one of the other community managers here at Supercell, the only time she would be scared for her game's community is if the reaction, not that it's negative, but that it's silence.
Yeah.
That there's no reaction, because that means the players stopped caring.
Yeah.
And that's the time I, as a community manager, would be scared or would think that the community is unhealthy. Because every player, I think, has a vision for the game that's in their heads, and that because they love the game and they see the future of it, that they want to happen. And of course, we have millions of players and we can't deliver millions of different visions. So naturally, we'll give something that won't be exactly what they hope for, but hopefully it's something that they'll end up enjoying. At least that's the goal.
Yep. Cool. Next question then from Elemental Studios. What is your opinion on the fan art people create?
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
So good. So amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I pay actually the most attention. And I just love going through Twitter, through everywhere, just to see fan art. Yeah.
Yeah, we have so many talented people. Like Lex worked with one of them, right?
Yeah. Shout out to Schneiderpox. Yeah, he's amazing. Like he does a lot of artwork for my thumbnails, and lots of times you guys would probably laugh if you saw him, but like I have an idea of what I want for a thumbnail, and so I draw out something, on my tablet. I draw it all out, like the best that I'm able to, and then I send it to him. I'm like, bro, don't be jealous. Just give me your version of my beautiful artwork here. In him, as well as all of the other like artists in the community, like they are so unbelievably talented that I couldn't even begin to do something like that. I mean, my drawings Schneiderpox.
I think we got to see
they're horrible,
one of Lex's drawings.
Yeah,
as a
put on the
thumbnail
screen.
your next video.
Or send us and then we put on the screen.
I'll send you. I'll send you a couple. Like there's one that I did where like Crow was like the Professor Crow. It was for like a all the brawlers explained in 14 minutes video I did. My drawing was so hilarious. It's so bad, but I'll send you guys. You guys can pop it up on screen.
Amazing.
But it's really cool because also through fan art is how the story of Brawl Stars and like all the lore gets like illustrated, and how people actually learn about the lore. I think it's more from the fan art than from our official stuff. So I think it's very magical to see that.
And I think like when I already said in another episode, but like when we released Janet and Bonnie, where like it was one line there, like we said like Janet and Bonnie are sisters and Stu is like their adopted father, and then like. And I don't know, like 10 minutes later, like full of fan arts, like being like a family and everything. So like they understood this one line and they start creating their own story. So I think it was the highest number of fan art we got after a Brawl Talk. And it's like sometimes I don't even know how fast they are. Like it's
so fast.
how
It's
they can
insane.
make it, right? And it's such a detail and so pretty. Yeah, it's amazing. I think like it's above average in the industry, right? I think
For sure.
Yeah,
amazing. Some of the best
way
fan
above
art I've
average, I would
seen.
think.
yeah.
I'm jealous as well. I wish I could draw like that.
Power League Prodigy. What can you tell us about the changes to the creator program for website creators? I wish we had Rick here. Will the process for this type of creator be more formalized in the future? I guess, like, of course, I don't know because I don't work. Do you? Maybe you have more information?
Yeah, so I think we've just made some changes to Creator Boost for them to help them support their websites even more. We're looking at kind of formalizing a better way for them to get into the program. It's a bit difficult because for, YouTube and other channels, we can look at subscriber numbers.
Yeah.
We have a lot of data we can pull, but for websites, it's a bit of a mystery. So we absolutely see that as something we need to fix. And I think Rick has some ideas in his head on how we can improve that.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out. We'll get better.
Shout out to Rick because he's doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
And it's also really, it creates another hype moment because like in the parallel, like we are talking about the games, but then Rick like hypes his own stuff, right? Like let's do like creator program improvements. And the thing is also like he's talking about websites, and it is really, really tricky to have like a formalized or a structure for every single social media, right? Like we have Twitter creators asking like, is there like an option for Twitter or Facebook or so it's TikTok we recently added, right? So we do have support for TikTok. But it's such a lot of work. It's not like just click one button and then now we have like this social media. It needs to track something or like how we evaluate a creator from specific social media. So yeah, it's really tricky. Like in the ideal world, every social media would be available in the creator program, but yeah, we have to pick our battles. Then from Zoom Paul. Hi guys, you probably look fantastic today. And my question
Thank you.
is as follows. What do you all think about the original characters that people make? Like the brawlers they create. What is the real situation with an original character to be or not to be in the game? And besides that, do you guys have favorites?
By original characters is like a concept?
Yeah, brawlers that the community created.
Okay.
I love seeing some of the ones I've seen on Reddit.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that they're fully fleshed out, like it has all, not just a picture, which that's nice too, but like all of their abilities and everything else. Although sometimes I've seen them like their main shot deals 9,000 damage and it has 75,000 hit points. It's like, okay, come on, get real, man.
Yeah.
But no, some of them are actually really, really cool concepts. I saw one called that they named the Brawler Lex. So I mean, that's my favorite.
That's the one. We got to get that in there.
Sometimes we even get letters from kids, mostly. And inside there is a design for a character and very, very like specific like mechanics and they write everything by hand and it's so sweet. It's like, and then at that moment I can imagine the kid, like drawing that. It's like, this is amazing.
That was actually from me.
Okay. It's still amazing.
But yeah, like the edginess, like sometimes like of course like they are young and like super hypey, and then it's like an alien ninja whatever. It's like it's always like these very edgy topics, right? It's so fun. But I think nothing comes to my mind like on a specific.
I mean, it would be super cool if we had like an easy way to implement that, even if it would be like, I don't know, a special mode where you could use like these characters or something. But yeah, I guess that it would be complicated to bring like original concepts to the game.
There's lore, and then, of course, like I would love, like as in the community perspective, to have one brawler from the community. But yeah, like we are building like the lore and everything, and every brawler needs to make sense with the others, and so yeah, it's tough. Unless like we give a brief, like we want a brawler X to fit this trio, or
maybe like some sort of collaboration where we give like some indication of the things that we can actually do.
Yeah.
But it's a cool idea.
Yeah. I guess Supercell
there has been a situation though. There has been a situation where a brawler, not like per se a full concept, but a brawler in general has made it into the game. I remember when I did a video with Paul and you, Danny, talking about characters. That was it BB, I think, that was like the general concept of BB. Paul fleshed out and actually made it into the game. But I think for the most part, like the original, concepts and stuff that people do, they're really cool. But, the artists there at the team, they've got their own visions for stuff that they're usually working on. So they don't usually make their way into the game. But there has been a situation in the past where it has happened.
And can you imagine, like, because we have like so much drama with Supercell Make, and those are skins. Can you imagine if you pick a brawler and like, oh, I don't like this brawler. Like, why did you pick this one? And
I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But I still think, because I was gonna mention Supercell Make, and I think Supercell Make takes us like a step closer to like these kind of things happening, like in one way or another. And I think it's really, really, really cool. Of course, with character, it's gonna be more challenging because there are many things you need to think about when you design a character, things that I don't even know. But the guys doing that, they know the things. But yeah, I think it would be really cool if we at some point we could implement something that is 100% made and coming from the community.
Yeah. HCB for Ryan. There's 2 questions here. Like, did you enjoy your time as a community manager? What was your favorite thing about? I guess you kind of answered that. But there is a very important question here at the end. Is Dani Supercell cool?
Is Dani Supercell? Is that your name?
Yeah, it's written. No, I'm reading the question.
Oh, your at is Dani Supercell. I thought that was your full name, is Dani Supercell.
Yeah.
Is Dani
That's why I
cool?
got hired. Yeah.
Man, that's a tough question. I don't know. What do you think?
I think he's cool.
I think for sure he's got tattoos. He's got
Sometimes.
piercings, long hair. I'm very jealous. He's got the cool guy thing.
Has a bad side though.
He knows
He doesn't have
jujitsu.
glasses.
Sorry,
I
Lex.
mean, you know jujitsu?
You know jujitsu?
No. Just because I'm Brazilian. It doesn't mean
Are
What
you
about
sure you don't
capoeira?
know?
I did martial arts, but it was kung fu, not
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu.
You know
Sounds
kung
Oh,
fu?
kung fu. I thought it was jujitsu. Okay.
Yeah.
You know kung fu?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so look
but
at you.
like when I was very young.
Danny's a triple black belt.
Whoa! Is this going to be one of those
fought in
things?
the UFC.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
where you're going to
very
one day
cool.
try it and it's going to be like Neo and you're like, oh my God, I do know kung fu.
No, I'm super lazy and nowadays. There's like a sofa, potatoes, couch.
But we need the video. Now we need the Lex drawings and
Yeah,
Dani's
Dani
kung fu.
Dani Ninja
I'm on it.
moves.
I'm on the case.
Oh god. From Iceberg. Hi team, I'm a big fan of all you. My question: how did the idea of Brawlies come about? Did you enjoy making them last year? Maybe. Do you want to speak about
Well,
it?
you can talk about the idea itself.
Okay. Yeah.
I can at least, before you start, say how every single Dani idea starts. And it's every single one, it's the same time. It'll be a message on Slack, and it's in all caps.
Yeah.
And all it says is, what if? And then there's a long pause while he's typing for like 10 minutes, leaving the suspense. And then we get whatever the idea is.
Yeah, has to put my thoughts when it's fresh, right? But yeah, for the Brawlies, I think like the core concept I'm really proud of, and I think it's such a nice event and very unique. The core idea was like to reward the community just for them being themselves. It's like the first one, I think it was the coolest because there was like a surprise effect. It's like someone posts like something silly on Twitter, and then they get an Oscar for that. Like it's such a wild concept, right? And I really liked that. But and then the creative process was like super demanding, because like the Oscars nowadays are kind of boring, right? Nobody watched
Wow.
Hollywood goes after Dani. No, but it is like especially for our audience, like so like no teenager or like young adult watch the Oscars anymore, I would say. But then I wanted to make like, how can I make it the same vibes but something fresh and like something very unique? And then I was adding like a lot of layers on top of that. So, like it has to be fast paced, and then needs to have a countdown. So like every time the countdown ends, like it changes everything. So like you have the people watching the whole thing. It's like maybe it was too complex. And then the second one, I was super proud because like we eliminated the complexity of the first one, which is like a very simple story. It's easy to follow. We highlight the winners a lot more, but it is a lot of work. And like those guys behind the cameras also can they know, because a lot of the work is on them. But yeah, I felt like I talked to Ryan already. I think the first Brawlies, I felt almost like a glimpse of burnout because I was coming to work, and then I didn't have the passion to give feedback to the team anymore. Like if I see something I don't agree, I was like, whatever, I'm focusing, like I don't have time to argue, I just need to get these things done. And then like it was a really nice thing to like, maybe like, should I just maybe don't go crazy on working, right? Even though I was passionate about the project, it was a really, I don't know, what is it, call out sign or nice flag to raise. But yeah.
You were also just busy. You were non-stop for the whole, I don't know, 3 months before the Brawlies came out. Super busy.
Yeah, and that was on top of everything I was doing, right? So it's Brawl Talk, there was the World Finals, and then the Brawlies, which is like, to have an idea and then explaining why we probably won't have a Brawlies this year. We had the script done in August. So the script was done in August, and everything is just production, right? Between that.
Yeah, and also because you want to highlight players throughout the year. Like you need to wait almost until the end to find the winners, because otherwise if you do it too soon, if you do it in August, then when you have the actual time to do it, then the winners are not ready, because there are still things to come during the year. So it needs to be a bit like last minute thing, especially to pick the winners and stuff. And it was a lot. It was super fun. But especially the first one, it was a lot. But many good memories.
Well, I will say that even though, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I will say that even though the people at home can't see him, I can see the crew behind there, and you guys did an absolutely phenomenal job with the production of the Brawlies. Like, yes, give them a round of applause, because it was so well done. It was so well done.
Yeah.
The crew set up that sound just for them.
What are you saying?
No, I think I was mostly done.
Yeah. But how was the second Brawlies for you? Or
well, the second one was a lot easier, because we were a lot more structured. I think because for the first Brawlies, the idea was kind of there already, but for the second we could work more like together to like actually build a thing, and I think it made it a bit easier as well. And of course, having the experience from the previous one and trying to avoid the things we didn't like or that were like maybe not necessary, it was good.
So like, of course, like I love the event and everything, but like we also like, as like business think, like, does it worth all the effort we put in for this one video, which like a player will see and say like, is this a Brawl Talk? Like most of the people, they like it, but it is, maybe it doesn't worth the investment of our times and everything. But maybe we want to do something cool for New Year's, but it won't be like as big as the Brawlies. I'm keep forgetting that I am asking the questions. From Michael. Is there a feature that hasn't been added to Brawl Stars that you would like to see? Maybe you too.
There is something I would like. So I would like to have more ways of using the brawlers I like. So I would like, for example, I don't know, like some kind of like story mode, or some kind of like real like mastery. I know we have masteries, but not that kind of mastery, but like some kind of quest, or like use this brawler in these ways to get things maybe, or even to learn more about that brawler and how to use it. Because I usually play with the same characters like all the time, because I like a set of like 20 characters, and I would like to find like new ways of playing these characters.
How about you, Ryan? Do you have a...
Like, I was so excited about Map Maker when we first started developing it. I was hoping that we would be able to give it enough features where players could develop their own game modes, like really create a new game inside of Brawl. And I think it still has that potential, so I'd love to see more investment there, and glad the team are thinking about it.
Lex? Map Maker?
I mean, Ryan took the words out of my mouth. Okay. Absolutely. The other thing that I was going to say is, when are we going to get a 5v5 mode? But wait, we are. So, there's that.
Second
I also think that it might be cool, like if the map maker does get fledged out, to its potential, to see like, and this might be another source of like some monetization for you guys as well, but like get different like theme, like building, block packs that you could get, different textures for the
cool.
blocks, so you could have, a winter, block set or whatever, and you guys could even sell those in little packs for people who wanted to get crazy with their stuff. I don't know. I think that would be pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. From Light, do you think the community has become more toxic recently, or are we too attached to Brawl that sometimes we get carried away? I'm genuinely confused if our community is amazing or not. Amazing. Do you have
They're passionate.
Yeah.
I don't think the Brawl community is toxic at all.
No.
I think it's a really good and healthy community. Of course, any community has people that are unhappy and some people who take it too far with their unhappiness. But I think overall, it's a really, really good community and a shining example in the gaming industry for sure.
And I think it's lasting long, because I remember you saying to me because we released an update, and then I think it was the tiniest update we had.
Oh yeah.
We released there is no content. It was 3-line skins, and then the community was like, "Yay, the update!" So can we release anything that they are happy? And then you said I think they are still in the honeymoon period, but I think this honeymoon has been lasting
years. Yeah, I think for a long time I was waiting for the other shoe to drop. Where at least in the beginning, I thought everyone was so hyped that we were just releasing the game, and that, whatever updates we put out in the first year, I was like, they're just still happy that the game exists. But that honeymoon phase is still there, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this one comment that I've seen around August, I think, maybe when the team started coming back from holidays. And we started, I think it was in one of the podcasts that we talked as well about the next update or something. And I remember seeing this one comment that we were talking about how we wanted to make everything go into the game, and that it was really hard. We were preparing a lot of stuff. And this comment said, just take a longer vacation, rest, and then come back. Instead of 1 month, just take 2 months of holidays, go away, don't worry about it. And I was reading that, and I've never seen any game commenting something like that, telling the developers to take holidays and vacations and to rest.
Yeah,
it's always no, give us more stuff.
Yeah. How about you, Lex? What do you think?
No, I think that the community is not that. I mean, there's times, obviously, people have their moments, but overall, no. I think the community is just extremely passionate and invested in the game, and those emotions sometimes can come out in different ways, especially from kids that are younger and people that are older process those things in different ways, and it manifests itself. Sometimes is anger, sometimes is constructive, sometimes not constructive, but overall, it's just because they care, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
and sure. YouTube as well. I always get surprised when I see the comments on YouTube. It's so positive, everything. Yeah. Whenever I need a kind of a boost, I always go read the comments just to get
Yeah, it's different as well. We are talking about community, but if you read Reddit or read Twitter, it's different from YouTube. Actually, what is it? What was the last update we had? It was the
Hypercharges before.
Hypercharges. Yeah, Hypercharges. Twitter and Reddit, they were on fire. This is too expensive. It's too OP, pay to win, blah, blah, blah. And then on YouTube, it's yeah, let's go. It's hype. It's a completely different audience. It's amazing. Sonico. Some community concepts, Brawlers, Kings. Is there some community concepts that you have used as reference or included in the game? So actually, we actually have bought some concepts from players. So some skins that we have in game right now, we actually bought the concept from the player. But then we don't like to make a big deal out of it because now I am, but I don't, because then maybe they will try to sell it, or it will change the how they do fan art, which is now comes out of a passion, right?
There's a different
I don't want players to be in a position that they want to do something to sell. And I think we saw some. It wasn't a artist that I bought an art, but there was an artist that they were trying to using the same themes we are having and trying to hit what we are going to do in the future. It's we have to buy. It's it feels a bit bad, but we have bought some things, but we do like in the background. Of course, like we talk to the creator. It's not that we fight. But yeah. How does from Moon Chess? How does ever that goes up to the World Finals? How does ever that goes up to the World Finals work? What is this question?
I think wasn't it about the location of
Everything.
Ah,
How does
yeah,
everything?
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's about the location. But there's like how do you guys pick the location? As an American citizen, I would love to eventually see the Brawl Finals in the USA. So how do we pick the location?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Lex
Listen,
always has to
you-
go to Europe. all the
You
time.
guys right there. When this one, it's in Sweden. That's like a 45-minute flight for you guys. No problem. Me, I'm going to be traveling for 16 hours that day. Bring it to the U.S.
Yeah, I think you've landed on the reason why it's in Sweden.
I know.
But
I know.
But truthfully, we look for great partners in the esports and competitive play space that we can work with. So the vast majority of everything that we're doing in competitive play and esports, we are supported by our partners, and many of them happen to be in Europe. And part of the reason for that is not just a quick flight to Sweden, but also throughout the whole year when we're doing all of the competitive play, doing events, doing the full competitive season. It's very hard to work with a partner that's in an entirely different time zone, because then we only get basically a couple working hours overlap, if that. So that gets very hard.
Yeah, and of course, like in Korea, we've gone there because like Brawl was exploding in Korea, right? So you wanted to like.
And at the time, we had an office, or I mean, we still have an office in Seoul. So we had people there in Seoul, in our Seoul office, who could help support that.
And then, of course, like the Paris Disneyland was like, it was your dream, right?
My dream.
Like it's a Star Park, theme park. Yeah, that's a perfect fit. So, but yeah, I think there is not like a specific reason we go. Like it depends on the situation or like partners or everything. Yeah, and yeah, maybe King will talk about the future World Finals eventually.
Maybe another podcast.
Yeah, but then this one is in Sweden. DreamHack. Lex will be there, so
You
I
will
will
be
be.
there.
I will be there. Yeah,
You too.
are you gonna be there?
I won't be
Oh,
there.
I won't be
sadly.
there. So there won't be anyone to take a picture of me and the.
Yeah,
The fan.
you'll have to find your own photographer now.
I've got a camera.
All right. Hamad, while making the update now, while making the update, how do you guys estimate how the community is gonna react to it?
Guess it's a lot of that sixth sense
Yeah.
as well, and
Yeah.
you know, being a player and just kind of knowing more or less what you would like as a player. Like
Yeah.
part of our job is putting ourselves in the position of the player and trusting that first reaction as well whenever we hear about the design and like we see the details, and we try to trust our feelings as well, and
Yeah.
how the player would also react to it.
Yeah, and I was actually like talking to a psychologist, like not because of that, but it's a friend of mine who is a psychologist.
Was it about Ryan?
And then I was talking about how much of like psychology there is in this work, right? Because you have to not only like put yourself in their shoes, but understand how people react to stuff. Like for example, the Brawl Pass communication. We know there's a day of emotion. It's like that's something that nobody tells you in the community manager role, right? And there's many of those situations, like someone is angry. How do you tackle that, or like how do you communicate? Like what are the like sensitive topics? How you go around, and then there's a lot of things we have to think about when we're communicating, and then this gives like this background for us to like envision how the things we are creating will be perceived by the players.
And a
Yeah.
lot of looking at other games and how
Yeah,
other
yeah,
things
yeah.
have happened in the
Yeah.
past. Like
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah.
And even our games at
Yeah.
Supercell.
yeah, we're always kind of paying attention to what's happening in the industry and like learning from mistakes from other places or like good things as well. Like it's a mix of experience and kind of this instinct.
Yeah. And Dandy Lurk. Actually, back to the question, we actually share some stuff with the content creators beforehand. So like in the sneak
yeah,
peek
true.
period, we also like have a glimpse of what will be. And most of the times are pretty accurate. and most of the times it's like let's see how it goes, and then if it's bad we change. But from Dandy Lurk, actually Dandy is like the player who listen bad randoms the most times on Spotify.
Whoa.
Oh,
Shout
wow.
out, yeah. Since the topic is community this time, do you have plans for another Brawly? Or something similar to this year? So the question, I guess, is no. Like, I know Marcio wants to do one, but
Sorry, could you get
a Brawly,
a Brawly?
yeah.
Mm.
But
Yeah, I really wanted, but
we don't have time. Like,
Yeah,
even if you
that's-
want,
Well,
there's
now you definitely don't have
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
And do you have any comments on the theorist community, which is himself, who's been working for years discovering what's going on inside your totally normal Star Park? Yeah, the theories are incredible. Like what they can create out of like this minuscule thing, right? So before they only had the radio, which is like people were listening for that radio for 24 hours a day, and they still managed like to create content. Like every time there's like, now there's a water dropping there. Like, is there the next update will be with water and things like that. And now we have video, which is improvement.
yeah, and it's funny seeing like sometimes like the animation that is going on the video is kind of like randomly generated. It's not like planned or anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes random things happen and people are like, why?
Yeah.
Like this means something. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's just a bug or something.
Yeah, but it's incredible the work they've been doing. So actually, lots of those lore pieces are for this community, right? Because, you know, they are the most engaged ones, and then they create content around it, which makes the other people engaged as well.
And I think that's why now there is more stuff related to this,
Yeah.
because there is a clear like interest and
Yeah.
and passion about this. So
Yeah, I remember one comment that I saw, I even mentioned to Paula, someone commented on, I don't know where, but I just wanted to play like a casual game, and now I'm deep in like these conspiracy theories. From Roderick. Hello everyone, here's my question. Is there any chance that maybe in the future Brawl Stars fanfic writers can be part of the Supercell creator program? I think it would be cool. Thank you for reading my question. Yeah, I think we touched on that already. Like, there's so many social medias or like different kinds of creators that to expand the creator program for that, like, it would be, I don't know, it's so much work that we have to pick something and focus to improve it, right? If we expand to everything, then we don't serve no one. So,
and it's about the demand as well. Like, if there is like suddenly like many people that like are doing this kind of content, then like at some point like it makes sense to look at it. But like right now, for example, TikTok got preference because like there are many TikTokers that they do content for our games on TikTok. So it's also a bit about like how many people actually are like into this social media or this way of creating fan art.
Yeah, and of course, like some of their fanfics actually become part of the lore. For example, the Piper and Rico relationship came from them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember any other example, but there
are quite a few.
Yeah. But like we do incorporate those things as if they were part, but like sometimes it's inspired by the community.
Yeah. Maybe it's a thing that maybe we cannot accommodate them in the creator program, but there are other ways that we can accommodate them in the game, in the lore or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. So, Kajus, your favorite experience working with Brawl Supercell, I guess we've touched on that. What advice would you give for people that want to do what you do right now? Your best piece of advice. Do you guys have something?
I think there is something super interesting about the community role and our community team in Supercell is that everyone has a different background. So there is not really...
True.
Yeah.
I still haven't... There are, of course, courses and like degrees that you can... they are specialized in like community and stuff. But like, I don't think like none of us has that in their like background or like not as a main thing. So it's really interesting how every experience, every like thing you do counts for like the thing you can end up doing. So like it's just a matter of like gathering all those things and just use your experience and like to kind of like build your own like way to do what you want to do. And this I think applies to everything, not just community, but it's just interesting how in the community team we are so like different and with different backgrounds.
Yeah, and I also want to hear from Lex, because I'm
Yeah,
sure many
that's
people have questions on how to get into what you're doing.
I mean, honestly, the very best thing that you could do if you were wanting to start a career on YouTube is literally just to do it. I mean, your first videos are going to suck, and that's okay. Everybody's first time doing anything, you're no good at it, but you learn, right? And so just get out there and start making content and find something that works for you and continue to get better at that. And then once you finally do reach a point, which may take years, and that's fine too, then maybe you'll start, gaining some traction. But the most important thing is don't overanalyze it. Just get out there and start learning it and start doing it and start getting better at it.
Yeah, I think that's the same advice I would give. Like if you want to be a community manager, like look for the open positions of community management in other companies, see what they require, and then just do. Like with internet and a computer, you can basically do everything we kind of do. It's like just do it, as you said. And then there's another thing here from him. Say something motivational. You're good at that, Lex.
Oh, something more. Okay, I'll say something that I always tell my kids, and this to me is the secret to success in life, and that's to show up every day and give it all you got. Like if you show up every day and you give everything that you can to whatever it is that's at hand, then your shots at your chances of succeeding are going to be drastically higher than just being like, oh yeah, someday I'm going to do that thing, or just kind of sort of trying. No, show up every day and give it all you got.
Amazing. And actually, the question from another player is like, Evil Magic. He said, "Who is the person who is always late to work?"
I think that would be me.
But
What?
damn it, people! But at Supercell, our work time is flexible.
Yeah.
That sounds like something a late person would say.
Yeah.
Hey, I come super early.
But
Sounds
I
like a
think-
cop-out to me.
Yeah, I said that because based on the time that I think you all like get into the office, I think I'm the latest. Like yeah.
For sure.
Completely.
I realize that I get to the office kind of late because when I'm walking back to my apartment from the gym, I sometimes see Dani walking to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, today, no, some days ago, you were going to work and I was like doing errands.
But you
So
were
maybe
still
I go-
ahead of me. Actually, that day I saw both of you in the morning. I saw Dani at like 8:30 when I was heading back to my apartment, and he was already on the way to work. And then I went home and I showered and ate, and then you were on the way to work, but you were on a scooter, so you got there
I got faster.
10 minutes ahead of me.
Amazing. Chris Escalona. Is it possible that later on the team will take more into account the community's ideas to improve the game? For example, that they give feedback more often to improve the balance of the brawlers. That's for Adrian. Adrian always get the heat, right? But yeah, I think like we are already using a lot because, for example, we drop what we believe it's the right move for the game, and then we see like what everybody's talking about, and then many of the points sometimes like it doesn't make much sense because we thought of this scenario already, but there are things that we haven't thought about before, and then actually like it's very insightful to read everything and see like a different perspective on everything we do. So we kind of like already do that. But yeah, and then like of course like to improve the game is like a big statement, right? It's not that if we like, let's say if we do a balance post, people will disagree with each other. It's like when you say like listen to the players, and if the players are not agreeing with something, then it doesn't make sense, right? Because of course like when you say like the community is saying something, you're thinking of yourself or one player, but it's
I always like to say that if you can make a post on Twitter about changing the game and every single person agrees with you, we'll do it. And I mean every person.
wait, there might be things that people will agree on, like
All 100%. No detractors.
but yes.
My idea is to give free gems to everybody.
Yeah,
If
that
it shows
was
me
the-
giving-
Someone's going to disagree. Someone who's spent a lot of
No,
money on
you're banned
gems
off.
is gonna-
You're banned off of Reddit.
Estrela Sônica. About the bad run-ons, what do you have planned for then? We have new singles. I never lost the podcast. Hello to everyone. Yeah. Well, we don't have
More bad randoms.
we don't have much plans for the bad run-ons because like if I could, like personally, I would do the whole album. I would do a tour with the band and everything. But we have to think of like the novelty. Maybe it's not gonna be as cool as before. It's like if we do something musical related, then it will probably be a different genre, different band or things like that. But maybe that's it for the bad run-ons. Or maybe like a moment that requires the bad run-ons to return.
Never say never.
Never say never.
I mean, it could be an unplugged or something as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 4 of you there. Why not get a barbershop quartet going on?
Yeah, Paula is the drummer and Ryan was the actual
I was, yeah.
the lead vocal.
Singer.
Dogmations for Ryan. What was your favorite part of being community manager? I think we touched on that as well. Or
Yeah, I think my favorite part, like I talked about, is delivering cool updates, sneak peeks, seeing everyone excited, and having that just wave of excitement through the community when we're delivering something new that people really want to see. Like that's for sure the best.
yeah, good answer.
Yeah,
See?
he looks like he was expecting more.
Yeah,
Danny's always a little disappointed. in me.
a little disappointed. Timo. We will ever announce specific details about new features while they are being developed, so we can give feedback before releasing something potentially bad, instead of releasing a flawed feature and waiting several months for a fix. Super glad what you did with the new Brawl Pass. Yeah,
The Brawl Pass is kind of something like that.
yeah. And then of course, like we did ask for feedback, but the main concept, the core part of that was communicating, right? Was just delivering the news. But yeah, maybe we can do something more
Collaborative.
We're getting there.
together.
There you go.
Yeah. But it's tricky because like it does like add more work.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that like if I'm understanding the
Yeah.
question is why aren't we just fully transparent with everything? And I guess I would say that just us talking internally in our small team about what we want to make and build is like a full-time job.
Yeah.
So for us to then be able, and it changes constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, hour by hour, minute by minute, the decisions change. So by the time we would post something on social media, the team might have already moved way past it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now it's completely different. So the feedback we would get would be irrelevant within hours. So I guess long way of saying that the development moves so quickly that we're just not fast enough to be able to get relevant feedback for the team.
Yeah, we do things like, for example, we do ask like, we are reworking Power League. Can you give feedback what you like, what you dislike? We just did with the trophy changes now. So like we are not explaining what we're doing, but we're just asking like, what do you think or what do you like and dislike?
And I think especially for new games, we also have the content creators in the program, and that we constantly ask for feedback. And because in the end, these games, they are going to play the game and the players are going to play the game. But of course, we cannot ask everyone, and like we cannot reveal everything to everyone. But like, I think being a content creator is also a great way to like, like slowly like getting closer to the team and building a relationship where you can actually give the feedback early and comment on features early.
So you're saying that if a feature gets released flawed, it's Lex's fault.
100%.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant.
No, I do like that you guys have shared some. I mean, just so people know, like we don't know everything that's coming in the update like long before it happens, but there are sometimes bigger features that you guys are planning on implementing. Like, hey, this is kind of what we're thinking. And these are some of the details. How do you think the community is going to respond to this?
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously we are pretty in touch with the Brawl Stars community, and we'll, give our feedback on the general idea as well as how we think people will respond. And sometimes some things have been changed. Sometimes they're like, sorry, we're still shipping it this way anyway. But that's okay. I mean, it's cool that, you guys are trust us enough to have that conversation.
Cool. Now there's a question for you, Lex, actually. Since Lex is there,
okay.
I want to ask, what was the process behind adding the 1 million subs challenge in the game? Did you guys approach him first, or was it the other way around? I would love to know the behind the scenes of that.
Yeah. So like I had an idea for a video that I thought was a pretty big video that would a lot of people would enjoy. And I actually messaged Danny, and I actually just asked for like hey, can you make this custom quest for me where I can deal 1 million damage with Crow and it just comes to me? But that wasn't technically possible. So we started just brainstorming some other ideas. And actually so it was Danny's idea for the challenge in game. I had the idea, but I honestly I was like, I don't want to ask for that. That's asking too much. So I'm not going to ask for it. But when he said it, I'm like, oh yes. But so anyways, it was just I approached them with the idea of this big video that I thought would be cool, including tons of people, and we just worked together to find some sort of thing that the in-game could support the video and vice versa.
Yeah, and also like you pick like the maps you created, and I think it was super fun.
There were maps that I had made, and I chose I wanted chaos in it, and it was indeed chaos. I had a lot of fun with it, though. I thought it was fun. Some people hated it, some people loved it. That's good.
Yeah, and of course, like it caused some drama, like why Lex and not the others. But like Lex approached me first, like and then I think we are open to hear everyone's proposal. And I even talked to the creators, like, hey, if you have a great idea, tell me. And nobody talks to me ever since. Actually, there is one creator that I won't review yet, but we are doing something similar to another creator because he reached a big milestone.
Yeah. So like, if that's one of you guys doing creators or in the future, get a good idea, a big idea, flesh it out, propose it to him, and see if it's something that you can work out. It's got to be a good idea, though.
I think that's important too. Is the fleshing it out. And like if you come and say, "Hey, I want to do something cool," we don't know. Yeah. But if you come with like a clear idea and like, here's what I would need from the game, or here's what I need from you guys, here's how you can support me, it gets a lot easier for us to implement.
Exactly. Fungary. After Ryan got promoted, he appeared in a lot of Brawl Talks in costumes and other stuff. Like a raccoon, I guess.
Yeah.
How
Crash
did
Ryan.
a chair. Yeah. How did the idea of this appearance came? And we will see more of them in the future with Paula and Ryan as well. With Ryan and Paula or someone else.
Literally every time it's Danny, and there's no context. He'll message me in the middle of the week and say like, "Hey, can you come on Thursday and be a chair in Brawl Talk?" That's all the information I have until I walk into the set after I put makeup on, and he says, "Yeah, you're going to be a chair. Here's your line." That's that's the full suite of. I don't know what the Brawl Talk's about. I don't know what the update is. I have no idea what's going on. I just show up and he puts me in a raccoon costume, and then we go from there.
Yeah, that's right. When we planned Brawl Talks, we kind of like it was the obvious thing to do to include Ryan and just make him do something stupid probably or something fun. So it was always like a fun element to have there, and we always like counted on him even if he left.
Yeah, and we are grateful that you always accept and we are good sport about it.
We just assume like and Ryan came. Oh yes, the raccoon is gonna be Ryan. And then he says yes.
And of course, Paula was a referee between Marzio and Danny here. So I mean, obviously, we're gonna hopefully see her in the future as well. Yeah, we can have 2 chairs.
But we also think like, because I look for the comments, like if people get upset because like they said goodbye and then they are here now, but everybody loves those moments. They love the Easter eggs. So like I never like I literally like, and it's easy to find negative comments, right? I never saw a negative comment about those appearances of the people who left the team.
Yeah, so if you're sick of us, tell Danny, and then
then I'm gonna stop. Jackie, hi Danny, do you like to invite an artist to the podcast next time? Like a fun artist, I mean. Maybe? Yeah. I want to actually... I will propose the idea here. I already told the team, maybe they were a bit... they didn't like so much. But I want to bring someone here who is like challenging us on everything we do. Because like I want to have like the players who disagree with our decisions to like have the chance to give their opinions, right? because now here it feels like we are like this close group, and then we're talking about things, and then they have no chance to say anything. So it would be nice to bring like, maybe it could be like a very vocal. I'm gonna create a monster there in the community, but maybe you can pick like someone who is like has some. It's not like has some arguments. It's not like it's a very shallow opinion. It's like someone who has like some things that can challenge us. There's lots of questions, so I guess I will answer like 3 more, and then because like I don't want to be here forever.
Let's go rapid fire.
Yeah, rapid fire. Okay.
We can do a bunch more rapid fire. Let's see how many we get done.
Canal 77. Okay, I'm almost certain that you really won't answer this. I guess that's why I picked.
Here we go. This is
But
a good
how
one.
do you feel about the new lore that you have added? How much time did you take it for you to build it? And can you give us a little hint or not for the future of CCTV, please?
That's a great one. Why wouldn't we answer that?
I think that. Damn, they tricked me. Smart dude. Yeah, like how do we feel? I think it's super exciting. Like we love to see the players getting crazy, and I love to see the casuals discovering it, like on Reddit, saying like, "Hey guys, have you noticed that if you tap the camera, you go to this weird website?" And so cute, right?
Yeah, and new players,
Yeah.
because of course, you know, the players who have been playing Brawl Stars since the beginning, they know about Star Park and they know, but like there are many new players since then. They have no idea about what is all this. So it's also really cool to see the new reactions.
And the hunt is so fun as well.
Yeah.
Like I really like the part where we're trying to figure out where to put these codes and how to make it fun for people to find them out, and like all these kind of things. It's one of the funniest things about these campaigns from the work side for us.
Yeah, it's really fun. And a hint? I don't know. It's gonna keep on going. That's the hint, I guess. But there's an end date.
And ever and ever.
But there is an end date. But the idea is that at least what we want now is that there will always be like some lore being worked in the background and like releasing like big story piece eventually. So like we don't want to have like this gap we had with the from the Star Park to CCTV. Some Korean letters. GGG pin artist. Would there be a cosplay contest for BS community? Wait, would there be a cosplay contest for BS community managers this or next year?
Woo, let's do it.
Yeah, like she won. That's unfair.
She's ready to go.
I've seen Lex do some good costumes too. I think we're out of our depth.
Have I done costumes?
Yes.
Like you have characters.
Yeah,
probably
not-
characters.
yeah.
Or maybe not costumes.
Oh.
You have characters. You have lots of characters.
Characters. Okay, yeah, characters. I can do it.
And if yes, how it go? If not, then what's the reason? Well, the reason is that Paul is an actual cosplayer.
We'll just win everything.
Also, I feel like half the Brawl Talks are cosplay.
Yeah, true. It's true.
That's true.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Maybe the contest should be with existing costumes that we've used.
Ah.
So-
Yeah, so you pick the winner then.
Yeah.
Sandia, and then there is a watermelon icon. It all comes down to the
Because
watermelon.
it's sandia
Sandia.
in Spanish.
Ah.
Watermelon.
Is she or he Spanish?
Yes, yeah.
Ah, sandia is watermelon?
Sandia is watermelon.
Wow, what a every day a new learning. I would like to ask, which was your first impression of the community creations and how is your perception of it now? And what led you to be community managers? Which were your expectations by then? It's like community creations, I guess we all agree, it's amazing. We are always impressed with everything. But I guess like for the community managers, how it, what led you to be here?
I mean, well, I can start. Like I've always been a gamer and like really passionate, and I just ever since I was a kid, I knew that I wanted to work in games. I didn't know if I wanted to make them or if I wanted to, I don't know, be an artist as well, like any kind of these things. And I think when I found these opportunities that led me more or less in the direction of where I went to now, and it was just stuff like player support or something like that. Even just that, I was already like super excited to be into. And then just seeing like more opportunities coming up, like I just never had any doubt. And I guess I had like also a little bit of a talent for communications or content creation or something like that. It's just kind of happened. But the original thing was just to wanting to be in games, and then finding out that this was kind of some skills that I had. Both things matched, and yeah, magic.
Magic.
Yeah, the passion for games, I think, is like number one. For me, number two is passion for social media in general. Like I just love social media, and I could spend there hours, and I do that like for my like personal stuff and for work, and I never get tired of it. And also video creation, like all like content creation in general is something I really enjoy as a hobby and as a work. So yeah, I think those three things are for me the reason.
So how the question was how we got here?
Yeah.
As community manager, I was. You guys have all heard this story, but I was in law school in California, and I played Clash of Clans a ton, to where the point where I was not paying attention in law school and just playing Clash of Clans under the desk. And I got invited out here to Helsinki for ClashCon because I played a ton, and I was also a moderator of the Clash of Clans subreddit at the time. So they invited me out here as a fan. And I was going to law school. My intention was to be an attorney in video games. And I came out to this event and started meeting people and asking them how they got into the industry. And some people at Supercell gave me a business card. I said, what the hell? And I applied. It was the only non-law job I applied for. And of course, I flew out to Helsinki. I did my interviews. And on that trip, I learned that I had passed the bar while I was traveling to Helsinki. But once I got out here and I met all the people and saw the company, and I immediately knew that I was going to throw away law and become a community manager. And so I did. And 8 years later, I'm still here, and best decision I ever made.
And you, Dani?
Not so exciting. Like I was a Brawl player before, and then I was a community manager in another company. So I kind of like it fit. Then I apply and I passed. No beautiful.
Easy.
Yeah, I can make it beautiful, but that's the reality, I guess.
When you were interviewing at Supercell, who was the hardest interview?
Frank.
Seth.
Sad. No.
No.
I think maybe
Yeah.
Marika and Anna was the ones that I had. Yeah, they are not on camera. But yeah, because Frank, like we clicked, because like I didn't know he had saved Brawl back then, and then like I said like, oh, I love this game. I think this is the game that's gonna change the industry. And so like I guess he also thought so. But yeah, and then I had Junpei and Ryan in the beginning, and then Drew and another community manager for Royale. And then the Drew one, I think it was I don't want to say the easiest, but it was because they were just talking about games, and it was really fun and like super casual. But yeah, I think he was like more a vibe check. But yeah, how about you?
I think my hardest interview was probably with the game lead of Boom Beach at the time. He's a Finnish guy, and for those who haven't met Finns, they're very excellent poker face, like really like stout, good poker face, and you know you can't tell what they're thinking really. And I'm American, and we're very like, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, at the end of the interview, I kind of jokingly asked like, how did I do? And his answer with just the most poker face ever was just like, you did fine. I was like, oh God.
And finding Finnish is like, yeah, you done a good job.
Yeah, for a Finn, that's pretty good. That's like means you did the job you were supposed to do. You did pretty good. But at the time, I was terrified.
How about you, Marcio?
Yeah, I think it was Frank. Like he was the most technical, and I think it was also the only person that I had never interacted from the team before, because everyone else I had spoken once or two times at least, and I just had no idea what to expect. And he had like very specific questions that I wasn't sure if I was answering them well or not. So yeah, I was just like, I think I entered the interview already a little bit nervous and like wanting to impress or something. And then he was like always also very poker face. Like he wouldn't show like his emotions as well, like if he was liking the answers or not. So it was all in my imagination, and I was just like, okay, maybe it didn't go well.
How about you?
The interviews?
Yeah.
I was so nervous. I remember it was weird because I prepared my interviews in a way that I that I started talking and like presenting some stuff that I already like prepared. So I in many of my interviews at the end, like the people were like, okay, you answered everything we were gonna ask. So it was then just a chat, but I was so nervous and with especially when meeting Frank and Ryan because I knew their faces and yeah, I don't know, it was exciting, but it was intimidating at the same time.
Yeah.
Luckily, my cat came in every single interview, so he was living in the background, and at some point he came, and it was like a break for me to like, oof, like breathe and continue. And also, of course, I had my background from the streams because I was streaming Brawl Stars before joining Supercell. So the conversation always started around like that, which was my passion. So it was like kind of like easier like starter as well, but like it was I was so stressed.
Professional advice: bring your cat.
Yeah.
To
always
interview.
or a
bonus
dog.
points and everything.
Yeah.
Question from Inferno. Not gonna name them, but are you aware of some of more troubling controversies in the community? I guess if you can name them, then I don't know, but I know some weird stuff. Not to say other words. Will there be more social features? It's the same person. Like there's completely bizarre question, and then there's something else. Will there be more social features and integrations like the Twitch campaign in the game? Like that was Paula's and Marcio's doing. But I think, like for sure, we want to do more Twitch drops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would definitely like, and I'm always pushing for these things because I see a big potential on using like these other platforms and the stuff that they have already for the games, and of course it takes some like work and some implementation on our side, so it's not as easy as maybe it looks from outside. So it's not just like going to Twitch and say, hey, can we use your technology to do this? Like it requires work and no work from me. That's the worst part, that it's not me just like dedicating hours to make it happen. Only is also developers that they are working on the game and doing stuff for the game. So it's always hard to find like the balance and kind of like convince people to actually like prioritize these things. But yeah, definitely we'll do more.
Yeah, not only Twitch. Like if there is a feature on TikTok, for example, or YouTube, then we for sure like we will use whatever it helps to make the game grow and the community engaged.
Yeah.
And then another question from him: is taking negative or neutral feedbacks as a CM a hard pill to swallow personally?
No,
Think it's
not at all.
Yeah.
At least not for me.
Yeah.
As long as it's healthy and not like in a personal way, then I'm never unhappy with
Negative feedback is completely fine. I think, of course, like sometimes people go beyond the negative feedback and starts getting personal, and then I think it's like impossible not to be affected by, like, if you start reading too much, it starts dragging you down, right? I think the same goes for Lex, right? I think if there's negative comments around you, like,
I mean, obviously, I've seen studies before that says that, a negative comment is like 12 times more impactful than a positive comment, which is unfortunate because those are the ones that stick in your brain. But as long as somebody's like giving you some criticism that's fair, then it's on you to internalize that and do what you will with that. But if it's just somebody just spewing nonsense, and even if there is a point behind it, you can't get past it because it's just all anger and whatever, then that's a little bit harder to swallow because it's easier just to disregard that because they can't get a point across without becoming too emotional. But criticism is good and it helps everybody grow. But
I will also
depends on
say,
how you do it.
like, if you have like some kind of problem with the game or something that you want to get better, when we see comments that are like, this game sucks, I hate you, we just blow past those and barely read them. But if I see a comment that's like, hey, here are the things I didn't like, here's what I wish you guys would have done, I will read the heck out of that and forward it to the team and think about it and like really internalize it. So like, if you want to give us some critical feedback or something you'd like to see, give it that extra step in your brain to think, how would I make this better? And we will absolutely read those and bring them, just copy paste them to the game teams.
And mostly, like, if you're feeling angry and then want to comment, like, just chill and don't. And then the next day, then you can drop your comment, and I'm sure it will be a lot better. Syed. Okay, there's still a lot of questions. 3, and then that's it. Yeah. Syed. What do you think the reasons that made the latest Brawl Talks to get lower views, even though the community and the updates are bigger than ever?
It's because I'm not on them.
I knew Ryan was going to say that. I was waiting for Ryan to be like, because I wasn't there.
It was the moment he left. Yeah. No. But like, I don't know, like as I was saying before, we had a Brawl Talk with 1 million users watching at the same time. Those are crazy numbers. Those are numbers that you don't see in any other game company, right? And like to keep that is insanity. Like we can't like another video that had 1 million people watching was when they released a rocket with the moon. I don't know. It was one of the rockets that they released. So like it's something insanely crazy. Like it's one moment, like a lifetime changing moment for you. It's like we having the same numbers as this event. It's like insanely crazy. And now we have like what, 6 million views per update video. It's like, tell me how many other games in the industry have this number of videos like constantly in every update. Like not even like, I don't want to name names, but but yeah, tell me, like you can maybe find 1 or 2, but it's super hard. And then it's normal for a game. It's like we release, there is a peak, maybe like it grows, and then the trend is to go down. But like what we're trying to do with like all the changes we are doing is to make it grow, like at least grow in a healthy way. But like we might never see those numbers again, unfortunately. But like 6 million views for update video is crazily good.
And there are ups and downs. Like sometimes we might make a few updates that are more popular, and that creates kind of a momentum that then the views go back up again. Then maybe the next ones are like smaller updates that creates another momentum to go a little bit down. Like it's and one or two doesn't define anything.
Yeah. I see Lex nodding, and he knows some videos go crazy, some videos don't. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it definitely what YouTube does with the algorithm sometimes is a complete mystery. But even beyond that, like Clash Royale and Clash of Clans, you can take a look at those. I mean, there's life cycles, right? And they go, there's ups and downs, and there's ebbs and flows. Sure, you may not hit that initial crazy hype that it was at the very beginning, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be there to still be really successful and really good for everybody involved, you know, regardless of whether YouTube decides to, you know, share your video to everybody on their platform.
Yeah. But yeah, it's normal and it's okay, and we are in a good place. Okay, so 2 more. Fueshi. How does the Brawl team manage being so open about changes and to the community? Because most of the games keep their mouth shut about problems and upcoming changes that can influence players. I thought you were gonna say something because you adjust your microphone.
Because
How
of
do
me.
you? Yeah.
I think in Brawl Stars, I think we are lucky to have Frank as well. Who because many of the game leads in any game won't, like, they are not that like open, or they are not even that active on Twitter or like on social media. So I think it's very powerful in Brawl, where like there is Frank, and then there is a CM, so it's Dani and now Marcio, and there is this like, you know, like group that they're willing to spend time on social media, like reading the comments, explaining the things, and just taking the time to do that is really impressive. Like not everyone has the time or the energy even to do that. So yeah, it depends a lot on the people as well.
Yeah, shout out to Frank, because I think a lot of those things wouldn't be possible because if it wasn't for him, because like he already came to the game thinking of Brawl will be like a game that is more inclined to not fully community driven, but like a bit community driven, right? And I think it's a lot of things we do, like, I don't know, if I present to any other company like, hey, we are having this change that we are changing the Brawl Pass for free currency to IIP, and then can I break down the whole feature and explain what's going to happen? Like most of the companies want to do that, right? They will say like no, or so we are very lucky. So like the community is also lucky to have Frank as a lead, and it's really nice that he supports those things, and it seems to be working well.
And even back when Frank first joined the team and presented his plan to Supercell on how to get Brawl Stars to global, that was at the core of it, was that it would be community-driven. Community would be first. We would have an open, transparent lines of communication with them the whole way through. So that's part of Brawl's DNA, thanks to Frank.
Shout out. Maybe air horn? Then the last one. That's not so exciting. It is a good question, but does Ryan give feedback or ideas to Brawl team sometimes from Ice Frost?
Yeah.
That's it.
No, he doesn't because Dani doesn't allow him.
No more.
Potato Daddy.
No, I am curious for both
what the
Paula
ideas?
and Ryan. Do you since that you're not, actively on the Brawl team anymore, do you still follow it pretty closely and still go over their side and say, hey, that thing you did, that's dumb. Stop doing that.
I
Or
do
still
that.
give suggestions or
I do that because of course I have many friends also in the Brawl team, and sometimes I have a coffee or something in the office, and it's like, by the way, when are you gonna release a Hypercharge for this character? Because those 5 characters, I don't like any of them. Or stuff, or feedback, or when I'm playing, because I keep playing Brawl, and sometimes I don't like things, sometimes I really like them, and it's super easy for us to just go there and say it, right? So why not?
Yeah, exactly like that. And I think it's kind of cool now because oftentimes I'm going to the Brawl team and I'm more of a player now because I'm not in the conversations. I don't know why development decisions are made or why things are happening. So when I go and give feedback to the team, I'm also coming from the outside saying hey, what about this? What about that?
All right. Then one more for Paula from Potato Daddy. How is Paula after the last Brawl Talk? I guess that he meant the one you left.
Yeah. Well, I recovered. I'm happy. I'm not crying in each corner anymore. No, but I'm doing well. I'm a bit silent on social media in regards to Squad Busters because there is many things happening, but not really that I can tell because the things with new games that the things are changing constantly. So sometimes I think should I be more open with what's going on, but it's let's just wait and do things properly and then start sharing when the things we're changing are make sense, because otherwise it's too confusing. So yeah, I'm just super excited and really looking forward to be able to share more about the new game, and of course missing Brawl, but we're in the same office. We still work together, so good. But thanks for asking.
And then the last question, because I think it's really interesting, Colin Brace asked, previously you guys said bling and masteries didn't affect the game much, even though people loved the update. How do you balance community trend and the data? Data is such a strong word nowadays. But I think, community comments is also data. We can follow trends, we can follow sentiment, but we also have to think of if you are engaged on a social media of a game, you are already super engaged. You are a very tiny % of our players, right? How many of you are constantly engaging with McDonald's page or whatever, right? No one, right? If you see something funny, you just or whatever, but you're not constantly every post you are putting your thoughts there. So it means that you are highly engaged. So sometimes what we see as a trend in the on social media is not a trend in the game. It's there's a lot of people that are they also play the same game. It's we need to also serve those players and maybe differs from what we give to you. So even though, for example, he said about the bling and the mastery update, which is players love that because it's progression, it's fun, it's a nice way to get more resources, get cosmetics, but then the numbers didn't do anything. We continue on a downtrend, and so you can see there's a clear example that what we did to the game didn't change the course of our growth. As when we released Starr Drops, which is very mixed opinions on social media, then it growed and then it became steady. It's that like set us the place for like, okay, we now know how can we serve the majority of the community without affecting that much the players, because of course we have to get some rewards to put on Starr Drops, which make progression a bit more random. But it's a matter of like looking at trends, comparing everything. If does it make sense? Like, does this comment is coming from which kind of player perspective, or actually like there are comments that are tied to what we're seeing in game. For example, when we remove boxes, the biggest comment we had was like bring boxes back. Mm-hmm. And then when we brought Starr Drops, which is like kind of the same similar mechanic, we saw the numbers growing, even though they still ask for boxes. But yeah, I guess it's a matter of like case by case. You see the trends, you analyze, and then you make the call. But it's not super black and white. It's not like if you're seeing a trend on the community, that means that the game needs that, or like if it will be an actual improvement to the game. So that's why, like, if you see some things happening in Brawl, is because we want to make the game grow and then serve other people that you are not seeing talking on social media. Should we end on that serious tone, or should I get a?
So what you're saying is we need a slot machine in the game. Gotcha.
No. Okay, so is Ryan going to come back in future Brawl Talks from professional bags?
You have to ask Dani on Twitter every day.
Yeah, what do you want?
1,000 tweets, 10,000 tweets.
More importantly, can we get the watermelon?
True.
That might be a better decision, actually.
All right, so I guess that's it. It's been quite a long episode. Thank you so much for everyone here. Thank you, Ryan, Marcio, Paula, and of course Lex for helping us with the spicy questions. And like your point of view was super insightful, because like it's you were part of the you're part of like the Brawl build up, right? Like you're since before me.
Original brawler.
Yeah. But yeah, really,
I appreciate you guys having me on. Like the community is great, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, that everybody there at that table, plus all of the community, you guys have all changed me and my family's life indelibly for the better, and I love you all, and I appreciate you guys very, very much.
Aww.
That's a
Love you,
good
buddy.
way.
Yeah,
of
the good way to end.
finishing.
Amazing.
the episode.
Amazing. All right, thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you.